Don't you complicate your mind. Free from hate, mischief and jealousy. Don't bury your dog, put your dream to reality. Yeah. Walk together now. Wake up and live. Wake up and live. Yeah.
and I him a inspire. We have to reach fire, and that thing require. We have to make them up before the time is past.
If you give a little more than you take, and if you try to fix more than you break, if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, there's a place for people like you. If you stand up for those down on their knees and lend a voice to those who cannot speak, if you shine a little light, give sight to the ones who've lost their way, there's a place for people like you. I've heard up there the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you. If you walk around with your heart on your sleeve, and if you're trying to be the change you want to see, if you lay down your life for love so someone could be saved, there's a place for people like you. I've heard up there the streets are made of gold, and when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when your days down here are through, there's a place up there for people like you. There's a place up there for people like you. I know you're out there, so keep doing what you do. 'Cause there's a place up there for people like you.
Good.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection, coming to you live from the best thing that's close to our hearts. Right, Pastor Percival? How are you?
I am very good. It is a good day to be alive today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's
What anniversary?
People,
what anniversary was celebrated on the weekend?
Yesterday was my wedding anniversary, and that was all of 29 years.
So you know you're in your 30th year as of this morning.
As of this morning, I'm in my 30th year, and it was good.
Yes, that
greetings
wedding
from
can...
all over the
world.
From all over. Greetings from yard. Yes, man, and she loved it. Yes, she says, I tell you after hear what she said. But today is a very significant day. I want to send a big shout out to my mom, who celebrates all of 87 years of.
It's today.
It's today. Actually today, and we had a wonderful time. Happy birthday to Miss Hazel, Miss Blossom.
How many names she have?
Miss
Hazel Blossom. That could be one.
No,
Hazel is a flower and it blossoms.
Miss Hazel, Miss B, Blossom. And it was good for us as a family. We really celebrate. And
so there was a big party yesterday too?
No, there's a party on Saturday.
Saturday to come?
No, Saturday
gone?
No, Saturday gone. So we had 4 generations of a family there. And as I was recounting, I was telling you about the grandchildren, because they're actually a good representation of her grandchildren.
What we got to, 38?
34.
34. Oh.
34 grandchildren. But it was a good time. It was a good time. We really enjoyed it, and the grandchildren gave tributes and
in
sons
dance?
And the daughter.
Was there a dance?
No, there wasn't any dance. She was busy. She never danced this time. But you see, one of the fascinating things for me is that my daughter will just ups and say, I'm going with her grandma this weekend. Without any prompting, anything like that. She just goes and she has her time, and she enjoys her grandma's company, which is wonderful. And her grandma enjoys her company too. So a big shout out to you, Miss Hazel. And then, interestingly, in our community, where we've lived for the past 51 years, 52 years, because my youngest sibling, when she came, she was a baby when we moved into that.
So no one was born there, but...
No, but they grew up. And one of the young men who she's impacted, he just adopted us and said to her, family. You are one of the sons that we never had. And my older brother said, but come stand up beside me. I said, but these are the brothers, because one of my eldest brother is deceased. So he said, I don't care what you say, because Miss B took me in and looked after me and so on. And she was like that, So she got calls from overseas, all of her siblings. Her oldest brother called, who is 90. And her sister was there, was 81. So it was a good time of just reflection and celebration of who she was. And all of her siblings call her mommy, because they said she was the mother of them all.
Oh, she's the eldest?
She's the eldest daughter, yeah.
All right, when we come back, we'll celebrate Miss Hazel some more before we start celebrating you. We'll be right back.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is already pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how we do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try and call cause trust me.
Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yes.
Yes, we're making some time for Miss Hazel this morning. 87 years and counting.
Yes, and really.
What is it? 34 grandchildren and counting.
And 3 great-grand.
Mm-hmm. One, and of course, Percival is number 4 of 7.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So she's made a solid contribution. You know, you could actually calculate her contribution to the GDP.
Yes, we can do that because we're reflecting on her grandchildren, especially on what her children has done. Can you meet my brother? Because he...
Well, I met him on the phone. This is Michael Scott.
Yes, right. And
I met your sister.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to meet another sister.
So say good morning to Miss Colleen.
Yes. And my other sister, as a surprise, flew in yesterday. So she has a real wonderful birthday present today because
she has one child who is contributing to a foreign economy.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the wealth of her.
Yeah. So and my nephew, who is the 4th great grand 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Anyway, the joke about he was just commenting on the fact that he says when people trouble him, he says, I'm going to let my grandmother pray for you. You don't want a grandmother to pray for you because you know that is serious things. Because I tell people all the time, even in terms of...
What do you mean, you don't want or you want?
No, he says to them, when they are troubling him, you don't want my grandmother to pray for you because...
Oh. All right. Strange kind of threat. Or you don't want my grandmother to curse you.
Oh, that's what it means. Yeah.
That's really what it means.
But I say to a lot of people, if there's nobody else who prays for me, my mother prays for me every day, and she calls all of her grandchildren by their name and her children and so on. So enough respect. That's where my heritage comes from in terms of my personal faith and what it means to pray and to do that. So we just hail up grandma, hail up moms, hail up auntie, sister, all the persons you have influenced. And one of the things that I have understood that is in our DNA, we saw it in our mom, is just the ability to be active in community, just serving, she was involved in Red Cross, she was involved in our PTAs and in the community generally, just serving people. And some of the times we would recall, and I think persons of our age can recall, somebody from the country needing to move, and mom would say, this person coming to live with us for a certain time until they have their way. So even then, I just want to acknowledge my cousin, who is a Commodore of one of the U.S. ships. She was the first African American to do so. She was featured in the paper. So she came to us, yes. No, I don't know if she have citizenship there, but she's Jamaican with African American, they call me.
Black woman.
She's a black woman.
Yeah.
And she was responsible for one of those naval ships in terms of code and whatever. But big up to her. She went and she's done well. And she came under my mother's.
So she's your mother's niece?
My mother's niece. Yeah, so it was just wonderful in terms of just people should just stick on and look after them and mentor them and ensure that indeed they were able to achieve their goals and ambitions. So happy 87th birthday to you, Mom, this morning. I know it's a happy birthday from all of us as your
the
children.
Morning Connection?
Yeah, the Morning Connection family, yeah.
Yeah, leave we out.
Yeah, but no, I know, yeah, but it's true, yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, no, what we see of you is confirmation of her excellence.
Yeah.
Because you are her begotten child.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's very pleased. She's very pleased.
Yeah.
To see her Percival continuing to shine.
And all of her children, actually. Can you met my sister?
Yeah, I met Colleen.
Colleen, who is, yeah.
Bundle of energy. Miss JPS.
Yes. So that is family. And she's all about family.
I got to ask you this, Percival, because I know mothers are special and mothers should never die. If there's one category of persons who should live forever, nobody is ever ready to say goodbye to their mom. What is it like now, sitting with your 87-year-old mom? Does she express an interest in, is she more here than there or there than here? You know what I'm asking. My mom don't lose any opportunity to give you a hint of.
So she wants to go.
What she wants in her funeral service.
Oh no, she's
which
done that.
Make one of my sisters burst into tears.
She does that, but she's kind of told us sometime what it is she wants, and she leave it. It is something that
fixing the garment on your microphone.
It's something that she does, but we kind of have instructions already in terms of what she wants, so we leave it and it's there.
Yeah. But is there acceptance, or are some people kind of still at the Mama, stop talking about that?
Well, I guess that because they don't, but
I do. My mom is she'll be 81 in a few weeks' time. And she doesn't mind at all having a nice chat about her goodbye. And I'm the only one who entertains her.
Okay.
Everybody else get a little panicked. But one of the things that from a long time, I do understand that people have to go, and they need to get a sense that you're comfortable too with them going.
Yeah, that's true. As we talk about that, my wife's father,
yes,
when we visit him, him same ready to go, him just waiting to go. He's in good health and so on, but you see what happens when
he's kicking back in the first class departure lounge.
You understand, saying, his wife died 3-4 years ago, and they were married for 50 odd years.
Yeah,
and he says she's gone ahead, and he wants to go. But it is a sense in which they are not afraid to die. They look forward to it, because for them it is a transition.
Yeah,
it's a transition from.
And I think as you get older, you become more aware that this realm and this existence is not all that there is.
Yeah.
And your curiosity increases. This is if you have lived a righteous life. So let's make it clear.
Yes.
People who don't live righteous don't want to leave.
Are fearful. They're very fearful.
They don't want to leave. I mean, and it doesn't mean you don't still believe in healing and taking care of your body so that it goes into the box in the best possible shape. But desiring to have a healthy, fulfilling life that is, long-lasting and impactful doesn't take away from the understanding that when you're done here, there's somewhere else. Do you know when it came, it kind of came home quite forcibly to me. I was a late bloomer. Anybody who know me know Minett was not firing on all 8 cylinders in her 20s. I was not married or had children or even interested in either of those two things. But I remember after my son was born, I kind of did a little audit of major accomplishments or, things already done. And I remember thinking that the last great adventure is death.
Okay.
I remember lying there in the hospital. Well, I was barely there. I think I have the shortest hospital stay. I went in the Thursday, and Daniel was born. Oh, how did it go? Daniel was born on a Thursday? It was a Thursday morning or the Friday morning? I know that I was out by the Saturday, and it was Mother's Day, and I hosted a Mother's Day.
Okay.
I was very bumptious, Hosted a Mother's Day lunch at home. My first Mother's Day, I was not going to miss it. But I do remember saying, whoa, hold on. You've done the career thing and got to a distance that is comfortable. You got married. Now you know what it is to have
you're ready to go home.
A baby. I'm like, what's the next
What's
great
the next
adventure?
And you're saying, okay.
Like, meeting God.
Okay, face to face. But you're meeting him now.
Yeah.
But
No, in my true self now.
Yeah.
Where this earthbound body is no more, it's gone. And I'm in a different that's the next great excitement.
But a lot of people look for with great trepidation. That's how the word go, right?
Yes, it's trepidation. If you don't think you've done what you should in this realm, and you feel like, oh my God, I need another year. I got to catch up on this. I got to cover that. No. And do you know that, like, for me, making that assessment was not a matter of material accomplishments or, things that I have acquired. It was really like a heart position. It was feeling like I've strived at something. I've overcome some obstacles that were very challenging in my head. The things I dreamt about as a little girl, wanting to do this, do that, contribute to this. I've done it to the best of my ability. I felt like my heart had been fully stretched.
Okay.
And, you've lived the highs and the lows. I don't need no more lows, please, thank you. Because after you've done the highs, the only repeating thing
is the lows.
is different stresses, different challenges. But when I look back at it, that assessment was from a heart position. And if any of what I'm saying is resonating with you personally, someone listening, the kind of audit that you do is, you grow up and your parents are telling you, your parents set your first set of goals.
That's true.
Complete school. For some, complete school and not get pregnant. If you get pregnant, recover. So your goals are kind of imposed on you in your earlier years. Then when you've settled, it might be you have the ambition for a particular career, occupation, job. You strive for it. You get there. That's like a major accomplishment to bring yourself to a point of self-sufficiency based on the skills you've acquired. For some, they get to the outer court of the career hallway, meaning maybe you want to be a lawyer, but right now you're a paralegal. Maybe you want to be a doctor, but right now you're an intern in a hospital or a nurse's aide or whatever the path might be. So one great ambition will be to acquire the knowledge and the skills to take you to that place of accomplishment in your career. And that's a big tick when you get there. The next might be, I want to own a home. I want to purchase a home. That's a big one.
A lot of people.
Yes.
And we can make that easy by giving people land in this country.
Absolutely. I have a thing on land that I want to talk about this morning. So you have that ambition to own a home. Now, it may be not necessarily own it in the sense of it's yours, it's under your arm, you carry it wherever you go. It may be that what you want is to feel secure in your living situation. You accomplish that, you tick it. Then the next step might be, I want to build a family. You get married or not, but you find a partner of your choice to whom you're committed, which for me is marriage anyway. So you get married and you have children. After that, you begin to hunt now for new mountains.
To conquer.
But and sometimes what happens is that you drop and you have to start all over again. But you've done it.
But even as you've been talking, as we're in the new year and we're setting our goals and we're doing our things, just to close off the chapter, focusing on me in terms of, I think one of the things that struck me.
We're closing off a chapter focusing on you?
Yeah.
We're not close it off, man.
No, but I think one of the things, because different persons, children, grandchildren, my wife.
Your partner.
My beautiful wife of 29 years gave a tribute to my mom. And she says, because daughter, and she said, no, I'm not a daughter-in-law. I've often, the way that your mom has treated me is like a daughter. She's never treated me like I was a daughter-in-law. I was accepted 100%, and my...
Do not pay the penny section any man. Just so you know. Lowell, who could open a microphone, is busy chatting away from the back bench.
But and I said that is how my mom is. We'd have our spouses or whatever, and she's accepted them. She says, that's your choice. But she's embraced them. And another, my oldest brother, living brother, I looked across at his wife and she was shaking
nodding her head
and saying yes. And I just said, wow, that I've been accepted by her as a daughter. As we move continue to move into the year, come to me, all who are weary and heavily burdened, and I'll give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I'm gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. You were speaking about goals and plans and people striving to, I must do this and so on. He says, I'm just simply hearing God saying, yeah, those goals are good and important, but learn to rest in me and understand that I want you to achieve those things, but the striving that you do to get it, some of the time it wear you out. But achieve those in me because I want it for you, but it won't be a difficult path. Because a lot of persons in life become stressed out because they're not getting there, and him says, it's okay. There's a path that you need to follow. There's purpose that is being worked out in your life while you're here. So learn to rest in me. Learn to see that I want the same things for you, but not the way that you are seeking to achieve. Because the greatest thing that you need in this life is to be in relationship to me and watch me just work it out, working everything for good. I just leave that with you. Yeah.
I was just seeking to bring it in line with something I want to share with our listeners this morning. Last week, for quite a few times, as you greeted callers with the usual Happy New Year, some almost got violent in rejecting the greeting. It's just me and my dramatic self. But many persons pushed back.
Yes.
By saying...
that is good.
It's the same year, and one man even quite accurately said, the year not really started in January.
Started yesterday for the Ethiopians. They celebrated Christmas.
Springtime is when.
Yeah.
And so we had some conversations about it. This morning, I've been thinking about it and recognizing the legitimacy of the pushback. That these feelings are valid and they're real, and the fact that people have them and are moved to voice them. It's not usual that you would offer a greeting to someone and they actually quarrel with the greeting. That means it's in your craw.
In your craw, yes.
Yeah, you feel that, people really need to get into a right understanding of these things. And given how things are progressing in Jamaica these days, every misunderstanding on something of philosophy or spirit becomes, maybe that's why things are going so in Jamaica, because, we are all at odds in our appreciation of some common things. So, of course, when something is plucking away at a nerve like that, you do something about it. At least that is my way. I do something about it. So I've been just trying to see how do I reconcile and have a more useful, purposive understanding of this dissonance between the Happy New Year people and the same old people. Because the Happy New Year people are in a frame of mind to start fresh and extract a new perspective and a new focus and a new purpose from the surroundings. We're not foolish. We know that, yes, one day to the next, there are some things that carry over.
True.
But when you are prepared to say, I'm starting fresh, it's a new year, there's a mindset behind it which can be very powerful in effecting change.
No, it is very powerful.
To those, well, for some, they think it's an excuse. Some people think, oh, well, my sins are behind me from last year.
So you have to do nothing. You have to repent. You have to change. You have to change what you're doing, yeah.
There you go. Some see it as just a fresh chance to start a new gig, a new scam, or whatever.
You know that is a serious thing. Start a new gig, a new scam.
Yeah.
They not change their mind. They might do the same thing. They might do the same thing.
And they get new clients.
Yes, new clients to scam. Oh boy.
Because
Lord.
Them said, no man, that's a last year thing.
So we are going to try a new scam this year.
New thing this year. But for those who are burdened by the realization that time is a construct, and what is really of value and of importance is the relationships and continuity and building bridges. Like how the ants build their bridge to get to a place that there's no ant on the other side waiting to hold your hand. You are stepping on top of each other, oh my God, that is just an amazing thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go research how ants build a bridge in the air.
Yes.
Totally dependent on the man
other
behind you holding the position so the next one can keep going. Oh, it's mesmerizing. Go to the ant.
Yes, but it's in the proverb.
Speak from Solomon.
Watch
right.
the ant.
Watch the ant. So you are very, very conscious that, we closed last year with, whatever the murder count was. I try not to think on it. It is overwhelming. And that we're really not starting with one. People might think, okay, 2022 closed. Oh, thank God. No, we can start over to count how many are dead, how many are dying in this country. But you are one of those feeling burdened by the fact that it's not, how many was it at the close of the year? If someone could remind me, I'd appreciate it.
And in terms of the people who died by...
Jamaicans who died by violence in 2022. There are some of us who are very conscious that if it is 1,500 people, I'm picking a number. If it's 1,500, you're not fooled that come January 1, it start over and is one. You know that it is 1,501. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And those persons say, no, it's not a Happy New Year. This continues. I have a word coming out of the Sermon on the Mount talking about foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm saying it is we many of us talk about God being Alpha and Omega. As it begins, it ends. He doesn't start without knowing the finish. And it's words and words and words. But the actuality of that characteristic of God, in whose image we are made. Mm-hmm. So we also have that Alpha Omega spirit. We also have the ability to conceive of a thing from start to finish, and it is executed in our minds before we touch the first stone. So now we're talking about building. We can, on a daily basis, start fresh. We can, from 1 minute to the next, start fresh. Okay, that's done. That has not worked. Let me start again. We have that capacity within us. So if the whole world agrees that this is a point from which we're starting fresh, nothing wrong with it. Don't reject it. Here's what I'm giving you from the Sermon on the Mount. This is Christ talking about foundation, because starting fresh means you're creating a new foundation. The thing has collapsed because it was not on good foundation. The stresses and the pressures of life bring it to the ground, and you must pick up and start to build a new foundation. And that's what you have the opportunity to do. Every time a day ends, you can start the new day building. Every time a relationship ends, you can start a new one, building. But you must know what materials are required to build a firm foundation. Christ was teaching, and he says to them, this is Matthew chapter 7, and this year we've decided to use the King James, the New King James version. That I'm using New King James. The King James is what everybody know, but the language sometimes is really too Shakespearean, and makes it unwieldy, certainly for public speaking. But the New King James is just a little bit more current. Christ says, therefore, he has been teaching and teaching about basic principles. And I got a very ugly looking sign.
You come back.
It's telling me it's 7 o'clock. Yeah. When we come back, we'll look into it, because it is a new year. Like it or not, everybody stop their calendar and start fresh with January 1. We're now into what, the second week?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When we return.
You're simply the best.
Bess FM 100.5 on your dial. Keep listening.
Reignited for the future. Year in Review 2022. Over land, sea, air, and everywhere, the Ministry of Transport and Mining was there in 2022. Stay tuned for some of the sector's highlights in this special year in review. The ministry kicked off 2022 with the introduction of sponsored flight training for residents of communities across the country where aerodromes are located. The goal, to get more youngsters interested in aviation and cultivate positive attitudes towards aerodromes.
And what we have done at the ministry, and we have partnered with West Indian School of Aviation. They have offered to the ministry, and we have done one set already, and they will be going to other aerodromes to offer about 4 or 5 youngsters within the community, chosen by the community, to get these familiarization trips.
Former Minister of Transport and Mining Robert Montague. The Transport Authority also launched a driver training app for operators of public passenger vehicles, PPVs, as well as commercial drivers in January. Former Minister Montague welcomed the app for its ability to facilitate training using a gamified format.
So that the taximan, the conductor, the driver can stay in the privacy of their home, they can stay in the vehicle. They can go on their phone and on their tablet and learn the do's and the don'ts of proper driving.
The web application can be accessed at tappvtrain.com. February saw a changing of the guard in the ministry, with Minister Audley Shaw taking the reins. One of his first acts as minister was to sign an approximately $11 billion contract for Phase 3 of the runway expansion project at the Sangster International Airport, SIA, in St. James. The runway expansion project is expected to be completed in 2023. In the same breath, a new departures retail area was opened at the SIA in December. Mr. Shaw says this new space is part of an ongoing upgrading program at the airport.
This new addition brings the Sangster International Airport into a whole new league, and I'm excited to see the direction we're heading.
Over in the mining sector, the Jamaican Mining Cadastry JaminCAD online platform was officially launched by the Mines and Geology Division of the ministry in March. The Mining Cadastry is a computerized database that allows users to, among other things, locate different types of known mineral deposits across Jamaica. Funding for the creation of the program was provided by the European Union under the ACP EU Development Minerals Program.
Geologists, mining investors, and various levels of government agencies will experience short and long-term positive impacts of the operation of the new system on the mining sector. The system significantly improved the existing procedures and the management of mineral licenses and related documentation. It provides a client-focused, user-friendly interface to investors and other end users of the system.
Minister Shaw noted that the JaminCAD will be a critical tool in the country's transition away from an over-reliance on bauxite mining and the long-term viability of the sector. 2022 also saw the passage of the long-awaited New Road Traffic Act and its accompanying regulations in July, further advancing the government's road safety agenda. The act is set to come into full effect on February 1, 2023.
While the government has an obligation to its people to provide safe and reliable roads, it is absolutely necessary that road user behavior must change, and this must be supported by strong and sustained enforcement of legislation and public awareness.
In the meantime, there are plans to restore the Kingston rail service in 2023, beginning with a Culture Yard tour under the Jamaica Social Intervention Community Rail Project. The plan is to transport passengers by train from Kingston to 3 Miles and then to Culture Yard in Trenchtown. The initiative will support community development while preserving the history of rail in Jamaica. As a new year begins, the Ministry of Transport and Mining remains committed to the growth and development of both portfolios, in keeping with the objective of making Jamaica the country of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is a radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, Inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in
For a
the
better
Lord.
choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try and call cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back.
You continue on. You were interrupted by our producer, which says time
the
out.
The time check.
Out. Yes, when he was in a flow. Yes.
All right. Okay. So, yeah.
The Beatitudes.
Beatitudes. No, I was talking about the instruction from Christ that is a good guidance in understanding why it is a necessity to have the presence of mind to keep starting afresh so that you can create the right foundation for the things you're doing. And guess what? We're building foundations all the time, and we're doing them concurrently, simultaneously, meaning I'm building a foundation for a relationship At the same time, I'm building a foundation for a career. At the same time, I'm building a foundation for, parenting is a relationship. But you're building foundations all the time, every day. Every time you meet someone and you start a new thought or idea or you're setting something in motion, you are building. So there's really not a point when we rest from that. I'm going to come to rest later. So Christ was on Sermon on the Mount, he's pouring out his heart. He's creating like a new understanding of what righteous living means, what it should look like. And he used some specific examples, as well, Pastor was saying, the Beatitudes, the best attitudes, the beautiful attitudes that we should have as we journey. At the end of it all, he says, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock being a metaphor for these sound principles that should be at the foundation of all we do. And he then tells you what it is like now when you never obey these sayings of his. He says, but everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain descended, the floods came, the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell. And great was its fall. Because, of course, all this, it's a great metaphor during these days of climate adaptation and understanding climate change. Just see how on point the Savior was in his parables. We all know what it looks like when something built on sand collapse. I mean, who hasn't been to the beach and tried to do a sand castle? It is a castle, and it should be enduring, but built on sand, and most times built off sand. The water take away the foundation. And those who lived by that Caribbean community out near Harborview, you just go out there and stand and look and say, oh, what was Christ talking about? What you see is an erosion from underneath. Up top still look good. Many of us are walking around, body intact, looking good, but if you had to examine what's going on under the bedrock, I shouldn't say rock, if you had to look what's going on below, no foundation. And great, you said great was the fall?
Great, yes. No, but as you reflect
great was its fall.
It's a lot of people, it's about the hype.
Yes.
And
yeah, man, the PR, the noise. But
there's nothing.
The foundation is not there. Yeah. So let's take that now from the personal. So we're not talking about you now. We're talking about Jamaica as a nation, as a country, occupying a geographic space, doing business within this space, and seeking to bring wealth and prosperity in an organized way to its citizens. How are we doing? How are we doing? The foundation is not there. And that's why all the good ideas, all the best practices that we try to implement, all the initiatives that sound so good when they're announced, give it a little run, and you see erosion, soil erosion. Now, if we close the year, the foundation isn't there. Now, can you start building afresh? I say yes. Every day you can look at a relationship and say, this require a new foundation.
Dig it up.
Yeah.
Some of the times you've seen people.
You don't have to wait till it falls. No, man, is what you're saying.
The foundation not sound, so you got to dig it up. You have to excavate and start over because the foundations were not good at all.
Have you ever done that?
In terms of
you're such a righteous man.
In a personal way.
Anything you want to confess?
Not at this point in time. It doesn't come to mind readily, but I know there have been occasions where you and somebody been relating and it started on the wrong footing. So you have to go back and say, no.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, but you're saying nothing comes to mind for you. What they say, mark the perfect man?
No.
We don't mark you.
No, please.
But no, that is a perfect one example that Pastor is giving. And I'm speaking now has led, because I feel like you're listening and you're trying to relate it to, okay, how can I change my circumstances and bring success out of something that is falling apart under the winds and the waves and the rain and so on? Because just understand, the house is a metaphor for your life. Your life is comprised of many different elements. You have relationships with people that are significant to you. It's your employer if you're employed. You're an employer if you employ others. You know, maybe you're a commuter on the road. Whatever it is, all the relationships that underpin your daily movements are a part of your house, part of your life. Some of them may be very, very unproductive. There's a young man who was killed recently, and his mother was she was just lamenting the circumstances surrounding his death. And she spoke about him having a job in which he delivers goods. And she spoke of a woman who ordered a pair of designer slippers from him. And she told him to go to a specific place to purchase it, and she gave the money appropriate to the cost of the thing, the value of the thing. When he went there, that store was closed. The mother telling it. He got imaginative and say, oh, he have a friend who sell those kind of slippers. She had given him like $12,000 for these slippers. He went to the friend, got a pair of bootleg slippers, took it to the lady, who immediately recognized it was not of the quality that she wanted, and she demanded to get back her money. It was in the Christmas holidays. He had challenges getting the friend to
give back,
and eventually he, of his own efforts, gargantuan efforts it sound like, pay back the lady her money. But by this time, her boyfriend had got involved. And they were not satisfied, and a dispute.
He gave the money back to them?
Gave back the money, but feelings, because now they felt like he might try scam them, and they might fight him for the money, and he's dead. It was reported in the paper. These facts I'm pulling from the newspaper report.
So what happened?
The mother feels that his death is in somehow connected to this dispute which arose over a pair of slippers.
So who killed him?
They feel that the mother feels that the boyfriend got involved in a violent way.
The lady.
The lady who, yeah. And she says she has reported all this to the police, and she seemed to be complaining that the police have not acted on the information. I guess largely because she know who the people are, and she knows no report of anyone being taken in. The point I'm making is
relationships.
Here is a relationship.
Bad foundation. Relationship, bad foundation. But as you
But at any point in that, you could have done the excavation that you're talking about. It sounds like he's a good youth. He might try. He wasn't intending to scam anybody. There are a lot of persons who... there is a world in which a pair of designer slippers has great meaning to the one who wants it. But to another man, it's just slippers and they look alike.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
So he's not thinking that him cheat her out of anything.
But he probably don't know. But I was just thinking, as you said, just reflecting in terms of relationships, and I know I've had to. I made an assumption. There's somebody that I relate, and I made an assumption about something that happened, and she was not at all pleased
with the assumption.
And I had to apologize.
Right.
I had to go and apologize
profusely. So that is one way that you can start afresh and change the foundation.
I am so sorry. I was never intentional, and the person accepted it, and so we move. So it's so important to recognize the importance of the relationships that you use, because your relationships is what help you to build a house. Because I have a simple premise: everything you do in life is based on the quality of relationships that you have with people. That's what it is.
I want to share a tip with you from Keon Brown. He says, Minett and Pastor Percy, make it a point to do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for acquiring the habit of doing your duty without pain.
Interesting.
That's interesting. The many, many things that I get, I see the gold in it. I see, because there are some persons who procrastinate. They put off doing the good things that they are duty bound to do because it involves inconvenience.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
and you don't want to do it. You don't want to face up to the rejection you think is rejection. And some of the times I have found you make all these assumptions about what is happening. When you go and say, I saw it easy it was when you begin to do all of these things without just doing it and facing up to what needs to happen. And you put off and you're thinking about what the person is going to say, what am I going to do? And it wasn't that at all. You have made all of these assumptions. You have built this castle in your mind.
Yes.
Without really going back to the assumptions and doing what you're doing. I've done that in some occasions.
And when the castle collapsed.
Yes.
Because the assumption was sand.
Yes.
It was not bedrock. The whole thing collapsed. Can you build again? Yes.
Yes,
you can build again. And so when you hear someone say, Happy New Year, don't fuss with the individual and think that, they are trying to draw you into some pagan or some ungodly mindset. See it as an opportunity to start fresh, to review foundations, and this you can do daily, weekly. The truth of the matter is, this you must do every time you realize that the sand has been washed away. And you can know it. I love the way he says the rain come and the wind and so on. Because if you can see those things as the challenges which you come up against or that come up against you, because let's face it, we are the eternal ones. The challenges are temporary.
True. Yes, that is so important.
So the challenges that come up against you, trying to shake you from your position and disturb your plans, if you can have a right perspective of them, when they're coming, just know, okay, can I withstand this? What's my foundation here? Let me just check. Am I acting? Did I do something wrong? Am I in the right? Have I proceeded in a just way? Jesus was saying, when you hear these words of mine and obey them, you are living the life of a man or woman who has built their house upon rock. He's saying, what I'm telling you is solid, good truth, good things on which you can build. And if you follow those things, you won't have any problems when the trials and the tribulations, and it's like you say, your mother say, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember the many lies
that you were told. But it is true. It is so true. And it goes back to what Jesus was given to us in the Beatitude, is principles of life. And if you
righteous living, man.
Righteous living. So if you understand what the principles is, there's somebody who says to me every time we are having a discussion, he says, what it is you are trying to achieve, but what principle is what you're doing based on. And I say to
oh, this is Pastor Al.
Yes.
Yeah.
My children, I say to them, remember the principle. The principle, if the principle is what will go through all the different situations. What is the principle for what I am doing? If it is right, it would withstand everything. So it's like the principle of telling the truth all the time.
Yeah.
Because you have some people, like you have a girlfriend, or let's put it into real life.
Yes.
You have all these different relationships as a gentleman. And you tell this one something. You tell this other one something else. As we say, give them olo. Give them something for hold them. And then it comes back at you.
Is olo a way of saying hollow? What is olo?
Give them something for hold them.
I know,
olo.
but is it just a mispronunciation of the word?
Right.
Hollow. You have delivered hollow goods. It has no inside, no substance.
Well, you are
you
are doing it. Well, give them something.
The linguist.
Yes, but probably low. But the truth is, it comes back to haunt you, especially the gentlemen who are
no gentlemen at all.
Yes, the men who
You
go
can't
around the
just say
place,
the man them.
the man them who go around and I tell the ladies them all of these different things. And guess what happens? I've seen it. Somehow, the different ladies meet up surreptitiously, or they just meet up and them say, what are they? I compare notes and they say, and I've seen it up where there's gang up on the man.
Is that in a Nigerian movie? Because Jamaican women more like to gang up on each other.
Yeah, no, I've seen it.
You've seen it in Jamaica?
Yes,
where
man.
the women came together
and yes,
and
all right.
work out justice.
Justice upon him. Yes, man.
Is that in your counseling life? Or?
No, it's
I'm curious, but I don't want you to break confidentiality. Because most times you hear women are I don't know.
Women are fight over the money.
Yeah.
That's what you see happening in Jamaica. But
Yeah,
some of them, they're getting
that's-
very wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no,
And there was even that awful case I think it's last year, she's a hairdresser, a young woman in the downtown area. The rival killed her, had her killed.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, see now, anyway, it's like one bad thing begets another, because that is no foundation on which to build a relationship.
Speak the truth.
In fact, for those persons who, this is something that has always kind of made me curious. Like you get together with someone and you know, well, both of you might be otherwise committed.
Yeah.
And then out of that beginning comes a marriage or so on.
Yeah.
Do you know, I had a friend from another country. From the time I met them in Jamaica, they were here. They came here on business. And the man traveled with a lady. And when I met them in their country of origin now, I realized the lady was married to someone else, had been for a long time, grown-up children, big children, and he was also married to someone else.
Oh, jeez.
They got married after having a relationship that spanned several years. They then got married, and do you know, like within a number of years,
them split up.
Too short. They
split up because
it
it was built
just
on a lie.
Foundation.
Yeah, man, foundation.
But
off.
they could have fixed that foundation.
Yeah, but I see.
They
it,
could
you
have
know,
fixed that foundation.
We got into marital counseling, but you can't do that. You can't.
Start with a lie.
Yeah, you start with a lie.
It will not prosper.
It's not gonna. Yeah.
So, and take it. So that's relationship. In your job, you went into your job under false pretenses.
Oh, geez.
Maybe you fix up a resume that borrowed from other people's lives.
You know, that's happening in the States now. Somebody was recently elected
to
the Congress
yes,
and embellished his resume, and people saying they need to.
And the truth has come out.
Yes, you can't do that.
So, we're now talking to our listeners. Yeah, you thought it was okay to embellish your resume, and you get the job. Now that you're in the job, the winds and the waves and the rain is beating. Well, okay, what's the fix for that one? You ever just quit?
Yeah. I was trying to get the skills, but that the people become aware. The truth will always come to the fore.
All right. You know how I just love to find the comparable precedent. I love find biblical precedent.
You mean
Abraham
and
Sarah. Yes. Abraham and Abimelech. Twice Abraham lied about the true relationship between himself and Sarah. And his way of lying was by omission, because she was indeed his half-sister. Those things were permissible. She was his father's child, but not his mother's. And I think the truly repugnant part of that type of incest is you can't come out of the same womb.
Okay.
So you can't marry your sister who is of the same mother, but with the father, clearly it was permitted. So Sarah was his, and then do you know the other thing too, as I consider it, you recall that with the Jews, a child could be considered a child of the father, without being a biological child.
That's correct. And we are
Let's
up
take
on the
our break. 7:30.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is a radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in
For a
the
better
Lord.
choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try and call cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
My goodness, welcome back. I don't know how much of this we can share.
True, all of that is lie.
What are we reading? What did you show me?
Says, true hollow.
Oh, hollow. True. Oh, hollow. No, it's not just hollow. Hollow go. Well, how you pronounce it? Oh gosh, Ken. Right. Call me and tell me how you pronounce that word. Holo. What's the word, Lowell? I know I've heard you use that word once or twice.
Give them holo.
And where holo come from? Is it is it a reference to the hollowness of the tale you have told? It has no substance.
We just go up here and you just give them something for whole.
Yeah.
Because I don't
but
really
it's
want
empty.
Well, you are going into the deeper ramifications.
I'm going into the whole truth and nothing but
that's what help you guys.
All right. So before we took the break, we were moving from New Testament into Old Testament. Because Christ said he's the fulfillment of the law and the prophets. And Abraham, they say first among equals, great prophet. And we're talking about now, how do you start something on a bad foundation, it come under pressure, and you now need to either excavate and fix, or it has crashed and you've got to rebuild. Because one of the things that we maintain on this program is there is no walking away, throw up your hands in despair and say, well, me can't do no more.
Can't bother.
None of that. The fact of the matter is Jamaicans really are made of very stern stuff, We don't throw up our hands lightly and walk away from nothing. We are carried to the end, but sometimes we lack wisdom. And we lack the knowledge to do justice to the situation. And we have appointed ourselves, Minett and Percy, as coaches and guides to just help you into doing the best that you can. And even if you don't do what we do, which is to throw ourselves, body and soul, into serving God and approaching things from a godly perspective and striving to be in alignment with this is, some might even say we're cowards. We know we can't do it by ourselves. I speak for me. I know I can't do it by myself, so I try to associate myself with something bigger than me, divine. I don't know what that's coward behavior.
No, I don't
look
think
for a defender and go stand behind some broad shoulders. That's what
I like that.
That's what I do. But absolutely,
it's like the baby bear and the mama bear.
Absolutely, I'm hanging onto mama's tail and saying, "All right,
come and say, all right, check who's behind me." So I'm good.
Cover me. So that's what I do. How you describe what you do?
Same thing.
Okay. All right. So some of you feel you're bigger, bolder, and you can tough it out on your own. And if you're bigger, bolder, and can tough it out on your own, then you know what? You still need some principles and reference points. So we borrowed a little bit from a great prophet, and we spoke using the words that Jesus gave to those who were listening to him, and he was saying to them, all right, you've spent a day listening to me talk up here on Mount Carmel.
You need to take it to heart.
Everything that you hear me say now.
You need to put it into practice.
Put it into practice.
And I just want to pause there. I think that is one of the greatest challenges that we face. In a very broad way, we talk a lot of things, but we don't apply it. Take the principle and apply it and put it into practice. Because from a point of discipleship as a pastor, that's a challenge we face. People go to church, Sabbath church, Sunday church, pastor preach him soul case out, as we'd say. He speaks about our principle. I say, good, sound good sermon. But then the principles that he's pointed out, we don't take it to heart and say, this is what will change my life. Because that's when the real transformation happens, when you take it and apply it. Which is why James, in speaking, said, be not only hearers of the word,
but doers.
You don't come and look in the mirror, see reflection, and then you don't.
You forget what you look like.
Yeah.
Or you're so unhappy with what you look like, you start to bleach and spend all your time bleaching your skin. Yes, I got there. I got there. Because all these things have a practical manifestation and effect in people's lives. And that's what we're trying to do, to be that bridge built in the air that connects you to what you hear and then what your hands do. Because it's very easy to just sit and listen.
And don't do anything.
And don't feel like you're a part of it.
And it's time to take up arms, as you'd call it. Take it to heart and begin to act. You speak about taking responsibility. If you don't take these principles and begin to apply them, then you're not responding in a very positive way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing.
You're just another one of the talkers out there looking on and thinking that it's happening to them.
But not me.
And not seeing yourself as a part of it. So guess where we went now? Having spoken about firm foundation and me making the point to you that every day you can check the foundation of the major relationships and institutions in your life and make sure that if something not right, you fix it, because you can rehab your foundation.
You can.
You know, if you wait till it crash, you can go into your boss and say, you know, I'm concerned about so-and-so because last week I don't feel like I did my best on X issue and it's bothering me. Could we look at it again and see? I love to just make up conversations on how things can be addressed. I rehearse things in my mind all the time. I rehearse how would I enter into a conversation on X or Y issue, because these things will be troubling you, but you don't know how to address them and how to start. So if you have a problem with your boss, push the door, listen to me. Better you go in before something is put on your desk. When somebody come and say, explain this to me. You can always go in and say, I've just been thinking about that transaction we did. I feel like I might have missed something important. You well know, say you did miss something important, but you're now inviting the person to come into it and hold your hand to fix it. Worst case is you'll end up like that man who brought a bad thing to the attention of the board and then fire him. Worst case. But at least you were ahead of it, because one of the things that is demanded of us is honesty and transparency in our transactions and accountability. And while we're there looking at the politicians and talking about misfeasance in office or breach of public trust or any of the things that we use to describe the corruption that is around us, just remember that you yourself in your many little dealings don't have the courage to step up and do the right thing when you've gone astray. The same corruption you're looking at in other people, it's in you. You have to look at yourself and say, well, did I do right in this or that way? I say the honor you give is the honor you receive. If we are not accountable to ourselves and to our partners and the very many things we're in, then nobody's going to be accountable to us. Well, they just dismiss you because we're all the same. So
we all do the same thing.
Yeah, we all do the same
which is the challenge. Last week you alluded to it, which is the challenge that we are facing right now in Jamaica.
Yep.
We know.
With the crime and violence and corruption.
Yeah, we know. We always point fingers and said the leaders, but leaders are leading somebody.
The leaders come out of us.
Yes.
So the same thing what we are doing that them do.
Yeah, so they just magnify it. They take it to another level.
Yeah.
And you know, somebody pointed out to me, we often speak about integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And we think of it only integrity in good. But if a man tell you, say, I go thief.
And in thief.
He's a man of his
high integrity. He's a man of his word.
Yeah, but you know, we joke about it. But we just really begin to really examine it and change our minds, a mind shift, repent. But I want us, even as we are heading towards 8 o'clock, for you to highlight some of the things which is speaking to the same principle foundations in terms of what you're saying over the weekend.
Yeah. I want to finish with this Abraham thing, because there's a principle there that we need to trigger in our own affairs. So you and I were joking about Abraham telling Abimelech, and it was not the first time he did it. He went into Egypt as well. Imagine he went to Egypt because there was famine and he was looking to be sustained. But acknowledging that his wife is a world-class beauty, he set it with her.
She was the first
Miss World. Yeah, he set it with her that if anyone asks, she was to refer only to the family bond between them. She's his sister. And sure enough, now you know Abraham is prophetic. As he thought, when he arrived, the word of her beauty got to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh took her into his palace.
And then the curse reached him.
And again, it was God who intervened and brought it to Pharaoh's awareness. Those times were just fantastic because people understood that there was meaning to dreams and visions, and they sought to understand it.
Still are.
So that happened one time. God covered him. Well, naturally, being the man he was, Abraham did it again. Abimelech. And when I said that, being the man he was, not meaning it in a disparaging way. He was a man who enjoyed the protection of God. So even when he did something out of fear, because you have to say, no, did he not trust God to cover him in that situation? Or is it that he understood the ways of men and he was being careful not to provoke something that could be avoided based on how carefully you move? And so he went into a new country and did not disclose that she's both wife and sister. He only says sister.
I think Abraham was under process, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, aren't we all?
Yeah, so
so in our imperfection, having a heart that is not, he wasn't trying to pimp her. It's not like he went in and say, here's a beautiful woman, and just make sure, say, I'm okay. It was only in a bid for self-preservation, and that makes me come to the understanding that when a man is concerned about protecting life and limb, any
number will play.
Any number can play. It is true. And that crossed my mind as I contemplated. I said, we look at what's happening in Jamaica. We see that even at the risk of imprisonment, people still do certain things. Why?
Self-preservation.
Self-preservation is at the heart of it. And even when, law and order and high officials come out and say, turn on your brother or your sister if you think they're in crime.
Self-preservation.
It don't shift the needle. Self-preservation.
Because they are saying, if you are raising the bar for us, raise it for yourself. That is a message that they are indeed sending back
the
to
subliminal.
Sending back to them. So, okay, you want us to do it, you do it first.
Yeah.
If you do
when
that
I can trust you to honor the principle that you're imposing on
then
me,
I will do it.
Then we're in business.
And
this was evident in what was going on here.
Get me happy here now.
He's dancing for those who are not looking.
No, but you see, we raised a point last week about the code of conduct.
Yeah. Yep.
And it looks like some people are
joining.
Yes,
joining in joining in the same call, and it will break this week. They're going to sign it, and let's not disparage them because they had to be pushed and encouraged.
Self-preservation.
When you push and encourage your children, you just give them more love and celebrate them when they move in the right way.
Yes.
So I know that we will be celebrating these two leaders coming on board, and the next step is going to be for the Integrity Commission to not just let it be words. And I my expectation is that once you set that in motion, that's a foundation now for a whole new relationship of how you oversee, scrutineer, whatever it is they do. And it should, that whole thing with the Prime Minister's declaration being unpublishable, that should break too.
Yeah, shift. Because what you're doing in a perception drives people's reality, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
The way that you are thinking, we do it in terms of thoughts, feelings, behavior. But if you don't get a shift in terms of thought processes, which drive your feelings, you're not going to get a change.
Your hand's not going to follow to do anything.
So we are saying, and it is important that the code of conduct, very important in terms of perception, in terms of change. We know whether they want to say it or not. It's about self-preservation. At the root of it is about self-preservation. But if we are saying, if we're going to get a change, a shift in terms of the present narrative, in terms of corruption, in terms of crime and violence, leaders must lead by the things that they do. We know they are thinking about self-preservation. And you are calling Jamaicans to join you, then you do the first thing and watch what happens.
Yeah, lead by example.
Yes.
Yeah, I was very pleased with the Gleaner opinion and commentary on the matter yesterday, Sunday, January 8th. The editor was saying they find it difficult to understand why neither the Prime Minister nor the opposition leader has formally signed off on the code of conduct. And they referred to it, the act of signing off, as being an important symbol. And we know what that means. I bless them for having the courage to come out and say it, because it's been around since November. And maybe we are amongst the few that are talking about it. Though I see the leader of the National Integrity Action, Mr. Trevor Monroe. Professor Monroe is now speaking our very own language too. He's speaking about the same things that we are speaking, and pushing for the leadership of this nation to fall behind the principles that we are espousing. And I bless him for that. There are some other things that we saw shift as well. And for me, this is a signal that a new foundation is being built. Me no even say contemplated. Is being built, because I complain about the silence of certain significant voices. When they are silent, you know that, okay, you can't expect to see any action, because as you say, you got to speak it into being. And if they're not even prepared to speak it, then that tells you. All right. The Chief Justice earned some good points from us when he spoke yesterday. He was reported. It's not. I think maybe it was Friday. They were swearing in new judges, so that might have actually been Sunday. I didn't pay close attention. I was just captured by my attention was captured by what he was saying to these new judges. Last week and before, from the time they start to talk about violence producers,
what is that? I
have rejected the concept. Using the term intelligence package, violence producers, as synonyms for Jamaicans in whom the police have an interest. We gotta reject it.
They've been trying to change your narrative.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's right up there with the word squatters. We have to reject that too. But last evening, the Chief Justice was reported. In fact, they carried a clip of him saying to these new judges, be courageous and be bold in your interpretation and application of the law. Do not be drawn into meeting the public. He had a phrase that he used, I don't want to misquote him, but he was essentially saying, don't listen to important people carrying a narrative in the public space and be influenced by it in the decisions you make. He said violence producer is not a defined term in law. Exactly as I've said, it's not a defined term in law. When people come before you in the courts, you must, when people come before you in the courts, you must treat with them in accordance with the law as you know it. Don't treat them as convicted persons before they are convicted. And he began to make reference also to, he didn't call it by name, but
Friday,
this
Militant Friday, as he urged newly appointed.
Yes, it was Friday.
Yeah, and masters in chambers. Sykes made the declaration on Friday as he urged newly appointed Supreme Court judges and masters in chambers at a ceremony to have courage to decide cases against popular sentiments locally amid criticisms in a high crime environment like Jamaica. The term violence producer was used by Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson Tuesday, December 6, when we revealed during a press briefing to declare states of emergency that over 300 persons are on the radar of the police locally. He says, that the Jamaica JCF has prepared intelligence packages and is actively building cases against the violence producers. But Sykes said, it is a criminal law that determines whether a crime has been committed, and it's a court that determines whether a person should be branded a criminal at the end of the trial process, assuming that there's a conviction. As such, he pointed out we have a number of terms being used now, such as violence producers. We don't know who those are. Is it defined? How do we get to these expressions? Asked the island's chief jurist. And the expectation seems to be that once a particular arm of the executive defines them as such, then it is supposed to be accepted without question by the judiciary.
All right. So you know what? I said to when I heard all that he was saying, I said, wow, he's listening to our show. The point is, all of what he has said is spot on. Spot on. All of what he has said. And we really have to be careful about or adopting some of those phrases and dehumanizing our brothers and sisters and then allowing the police or the political arm or whichever, whoever is pushing that narrative, to cause us now to distance ourselves from people with whom we need to build better foundations. Yeah.
And you know, it's
so proud of the Chief Justice for that, because we've been calling people out, calling them out, so they can set the right tone for the relationship that should exist between Jamaican and Jamaican under the covenant.
And the covenant that we have. And it's important because remember, we started our program right in the middle of the pandemic. And because one of the things that we pointed out to the powers that be, it is important that you allow people to have the relevant information so they can make informed decisions. And we've been referred to as pseudo-intellectuals. The term
false prophets,
anti-vaxxers, all different terms were
disparaging terms
to create a narrative of fear, which now, as we have proceeded along, a lot of information is coming to the fore in terms of these vaccines and the safety of them and a lot of things that people were afraid, and people were professionally put at risk in terms of the bodies that have accredited them, saying this is our general position, but they're saying, but based on our training as scientists, something is wrong. Now the information, the body of information is emerging and saying, because people seem to have been very right. So
I'm listening to you and I hear what's in my head. I said, Pastor sound like one of the men who won't let the people build a new foundation. You know those people who, but not last week you didn't do this. And you see that now you have to build again. Let's let them build a new foundation.
Yeah, but
that is the forgiving. That's why the forgiveness ratio is so high. 70 times 7.
I am a dear sister.
No matter
that's 490 times in one day, It's not in a week
it's
or
not,
a
or
year.
for a lifetime.
It's not a lifetime. It's 70 times 7 is the amount of times. If Minett has wronged me and come back and say, Percival, sorry. I am.
And the next time I come with my hollow.
Yes, come give me hollow.
Your duty is to treat me as if you've never heard that before. You know that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah? It's a very high bar.
Plan Secure Jamaica, which is Mr. Chang.
Yeah, I heard something. Anyway, I won't say it on air. Yeah, but I got to know if Mr. Chang is able to travel freely.
Oh.
Is it... yeah, someone asked me on the weekend, how is he? Is he compromised in health or otherwise from traveling? Yeah, if I get information on it, I'd be grateful. There's some other things. Let me mention them very quickly. So we give Chief Justice points on that. The Gleaner editorial, yes. And then my friend Gordon Robinson was writing again on the necessity for the opposition to mount the proper challenge to this abuse of the Constitution with SOEs. We've been saying that, and I think that's being done.
Coming. I think it's coming.
Yeah. We have to open the lines in another few minutes, and I'll take the opportunity to look at the reparations conversation. There was an article in the paper. I like to look out for them. In the Gleaner it was. And it was looking at the burning of the plantations in one of the famous rebellions. Why is it that the slaves who were in rebellion did not try to kill white people? I think the reference was that like only 14 white people died, in contrast to the over 500 slaves who they then executed and punished in the aftermath of the rebellion. What was the rationale for this attack against property and assets? And I'm just looking at it as a precedent for what will happen next as we continue our fight for freedom. I know it's 8 o'clock. Please stay with us. When we come back, we're going to open the lines, and we look forward to speaking with you.
You're simply the best.
Bess FM 100.5 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. World leaders have condemned the storming of Brazil's Congress on Sunday by supporters of the former president Jair Bolsonaro. President Biden said the will of the Brazilian people must not be undermined. Britain, Germany, France, Russia, China and India also expressed their support for the new president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Brazil's security forces have taken back control of the Congress. Our international editor Jeremy Bowen says many in Brazil are now focusing on the former president's actions.
Bolsonaro's critics and enemies have been saying that even the relative silence that he's followed since the election is in itself sinister, that going to Florida gives him a safe distance, some deniability from what might go on in Brazil and what indeed happened in the last 24 hours. Brazilians must want quiet after the tumult, but they're not going to get it, I think, not for some time.
Iran has sentenced to death 3 more people accused of killing 3 members of the security forces during the 3 months of protests triggered by the death of Mahsa Amini. David Bamford reports.
The Islamic Republic of Iran has been rocked by civil unrest since the death in September of a 22-year-old woman who'd been arrested for violating Iran's strict dress code. 4 protesters have been executed, prompting international anger. 14 were already on death row, and now a further 3 have been sentenced for execution. Their alleged crime, waging war against God, and more specifically, involvement in the death of members of the security forces. Iran is second only to China in its use of the death penalty, executing hundreds of people every year.
A court in Belarus has begun hearing the case of 5 former employees of the news website Tutbai, which took a leading role in covering mass protests against President Alexander Lukashenko 3 years ago. The defendants, including the editor-in-chief Marina Zolotova, are accused of undermining national security, inciting hatred and tax offences. Rights groups say it's a politically motivated case. Talks are being held between Sudan's military leaders and civilian groups in an effort to end the political crisis triggered by the 2021 coup. Mary Harper reports.
The UN says this is the final phase of the negotiations. That might be optimistic. The military and civilian power blocs have struggled to work together productively since the revolution 4 years ago that toppled President Omar al-Bashir. There's little reason for civilians to trust the military, given that they derailed the transition in 2021 by staging a coup. Sudan's political paralysis has knock-on effects. The economy is at rock bottom and there are regular outbursts of violence. Opposition groups have vowed to continue with street protests, but they no longer have much effect in bringing about real political change.
BBC News. Pope Francis has again denounced the war in Ukraine in a speech to diplomats at the Vatican. He said all acts of war directed towards the indiscriminate destruction of vast populated areas were crimes against God and humanity, which merited unequivocal condemnation. The Pope did not mention Russia by name. The United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has called for massive investments to help Pakistan recover from last year's devastating floods. Addressing a conference in Geneva to raise funds for Pakistan, Mr. Guterres said the country was doubly victimised by climate chaos and what he called a morally bankrupt global financial system. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif called for a new coalition of the willing to provide the country with a lifeline. A mother accused of killing her 3 daughters over a 3-year period has gone on trial in Greece over the death of her eldest. Roula Pisperigo, a nurse, is accused of poisoning the 9-year-old with ketamine in January 2022 while she was in hospital. The Philippines has announced plans to import thousands of tons of onions in an effort to overcome a national shortage, with onion prices in the country thought to be among the highest in the world. Here's Celia Hatton.
Onions are central to Filipino cooking, and the government says the swift rise in their cost is one of the central drivers behind soaring household bills. But the reasons behind the suddenly high price of onions are still up for debate. Some say Manila failed to place import orders for onions in time, leading to a scramble to purchase local harvests. Others say cartels are behind the disappearance of the root vegetable, citing suspicions that some are profiting handsomely by selling onions for around 6 times their normal price.
That's the latest world news from the BBC with me, Emily Thomas.
Seniors, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is advising that the November 2022 payment under the Social Pension Programme is now available for collection. Check your text messages to confirm your payment arrangements. For further information, call 876-922-8007. The Social Pension Programme, caring for our elderly. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability and social protection.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is a radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in the Lord.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes! Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
Bess100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percival, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Morning Connection on Bess100 FM right here in Kingston, Jamaica. And I say welcome to some new voices that I am hearing on. This is on, I've now have two YouTube channel, two different channels open. Yeah, because Lowell was having fun on another channel with some of the comments that were coming in, and there's a question posed that I think is well worth discussing, even as we're going to the calling section of our program. The numbers to call are 876-279-8473 and 876-619-1508. I want to answer one question before we open the lines. Welcome to Agro Valley Farm. And he has asked a question which perhaps many are considering. He says, what is out of place with describing people as violence producer when it is well known that it is their lifestyle by choice? No court of law is necessary to confirm that. Let's start with the pastoral and I'll do the legal.
No, you do the legal. But I'm just saying putting labels on people without any real foundation is wrong, because what you are doing, we keep saying life and death is in the
like
power
how we
of the
said,
tongue.
no, you answer it, but and
life
then he
and death
answers
is
it
in the power
perfectly.
of the tongue, and you'll eat the fruit thereof. If you put a label on somebody, they're going to accept it and begin to behave in a way. But violence producers, who is a violence producer? You tell me, legally. Who's a violence?
There's no such.
There's no such term.
And the reason there's no such is that, okay, so let's start from a proper place. Living as free men and women in a country, we are under a covenant which governs the relationship that we have with each other, and that covenant is your constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Under your constitution, persons are regarded as citizens with rights, certain rights. Some are guaranteed a certain level of protection.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at those rights,
mm-hmm.
you would see as regards criminal behavior and violence in any form that operates, that flows between one individual and another, is illegal.
True.
I mean, we're even getting to the point where if you slap your child, that is now being regarded as violence and abuse.
You're going to be a violence or abuse producer.
So yeah, when you start now to dehumanize individuals by classifying them based on their conduct,
mm-hmm.
you are shifting away from what the Constitution requires. The Constitution talks about citizens, and if citizens are caught up in law enforcement runnings, they can become convicts or defendants or whatever stage of the process you are. There is a name for you. There is no name
in law.
There's no category of persons under the Constitution that matches this phrase, violence producer. Many might say violence producer is the economy or the politician or the situation of hardship or the slave master or whatever you might say is the root cause of violence. That's what is producing it. People are just actors within it, within a framework, and you still can only deal with them in a way that is specified in the covenant that allow you to even talk to me. You understand that if you're doing something on the road and a stranger come up and say, stop doing that, you can say to them, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Why should I even? Don't talk to me. But if they flash a badge and say, I am a policeman, the covenant require you to treat with the policeman in a certain way. And the policeman is supposed to treat with you in a certain way.
Somebody on Twitter says, violence producer sound like a career.
Well, and
tongue-in-cheek they were saying.
Yes, but separation of powers under our Constitution, that is another one of the principles. And the Chief Justice was speaking in his character as the leader, the head person in the judicial arm, and he was saying to his judges, never mind what the other arm is saying over there, trying to set a narrative that might influence your thinking. And he was encouraging them in that vein, and quite rightly so. Let's open the lines, please. There is some speculation going. I was surprised, Pastor. Although Pastor tell me that he is a man off the street. even Pastor heard it. Citizens are concerned that there was a high-level security meeting in Washington and our Minister of National Security was absent and wanting to know why. So perhaps that is a matter that our government, in its bid to be more transparent and accountable, would just say something to the citizens concerning what is happening with our Honorable Minister Chang. We have a caller on the line. Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Good morning. Hey, Rusty.
No lawyers, man, and for using the position to defend human rights in our court, all you care about is just the money.
Who you talk to now?
All I liar, them are Jamaica, me attack, not specifically.
Ah, okay. No, I agree with you. For
using the position to defend human rights and defend the people. State of emergency is illegal, and now no liar not challenge it in the court.
Well, I think I think some lawyers are challenging it now, though, because the last announcement coming out of the PNP camp was that they're taking it to court.
I'm not talking about PNP, man. Come on, but I put PNP in this, man. How PNP coming out to talk about?
Because, Rusty, every case that goes to court need a claimant. It needs somebody who is asking the court to do something. Lawyers only go to represent the parties. So it starts with...
It's about money, defending money. Without money, they can't go challenge in high court.
So I want to ask you, which lawyer you asked to challenge it and they wouldn't go because you couldn't pay them? Is that an experience you're recounting?
None of them not doing it. If you offer them
no,
money,
but me asking you for your personal experience because you're speaking so strongly. It would seem as if you tried.
But human rights is not about me to go ask lawyer to do something.
But a human must ask. As you said, human rights,
so,
you need a claimant.
So lawyer is not human. Because it no affect them.
But lawyers don't.
Right now, no affect them.
Lawyers don't go to court. Rusty, you have to be fair in your understanding of the thing. Lawyers don't go to court for themselves unless one of them is arrested or charged or caught up in it.
You have a country where lawyers defend human rights, man, without money, man.
I'm not talking about money. We're talking about a claimant. You said, what does the PNP have to do with it? The PNP is the claimant who would ask the lawyer to defend. You have to have a party before the court.
No flyer in other country go and defend human rights.
Yes, but they go for a client, Rusty. Work with me. They go for a client. If your human rights have been abused, you personally, and you go to an attorney and say, represent me, and they say not without money, then I could understand what you're saying. I believe that more lawyers should get involved.
That sounds like Rusty call for quarrel. None of them not representing nobody without money.
That's not true. That's not true, Rusty.
Rusty. No, but
not
hold on, Rusty. What's the value of your contribution this morning? Because it sounds like you called to quarrel with the lawyers. What is the value of the contribution this morning?
You
quarrel with all of them.
You quarrel with them? Oh, all right.
They're not doing nothing for the people, nothing for the poor people of this country. None of these lawyers not doing anything.
Rusty.
Yes.
You understand the point that Miss Minett trying to make?
Let me understand the point.
Yeah. The point is, in order for somebody to take up a case before the courts, you must have a claimant. So we are saying to you and suggesting to you, you feel very strongly about people's human rights being abused, violated and abused. And you feel that strongly. What you must go and test it now, test the point that you are making. Just go to a lawyer and says, I believe that my human rights are being violated. Will you take up the case? If you go to them, no, but have you done it? Have you
All right, Rusty, we're in agreement that more attorneys should step up and do more. I have said that. I've called them out. And there are many answering the call. But you have to have persons willing to put their story on the line and go to the lawyer and say, I will do it. Do you know what I remember? I'm going to share this with you, Rusty.
Look at people being dragged by state of emergency and dragged to the court, dragged in a jail right now. They are suffering in a jail. It's no lawyer going to go question them or ask them nothing.
Yes, there are lawyers doing it. There are lawyers doing it, just Rusty.
Thousands of them is inside the jail there suffering.
And every one of them have the right to Legal Aid Council and to other council, and some of them, how you think we've got even some of the decisions that are there?
Because they don't have any money, they stay in there and suffering. But nobody is there.
All right,
to defend
Rusty,
their human rights.
you've made your point. Thank you very much. It is true
Very
that
welcome.
It is true that more need to step into it. We should be flooding the courts with it. I agree with you. But there are others doing good work in the area, and it starts with the citizens getting up.
Be a joke, I go on my country. Be a joke. Be a joke.
All right, Rusty.
All right, Rusty, we do have another call. You can't make the same point 10 times.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome.
Morning, the people. Bless up on yourself.
Good morning, Franco.
Wow, you remember. God, oh, you remember me. Bless up, Rusty. I feel your pain, bro, me. I feel understand, Rusty. No feel offended.
Oh, no, we can't be offended by that.
Mr. Lawrence, no feel no way, Mr. Lawrence. How we under it, Mr. Lawrence.
Franco,
yeah, man,
comfort you.
I'm good, man. I understand it fully, my brother.
I know just know somehow we under it, Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah.
That's about before we born, after we born, after we dead and gone. Yo, trust me, yo. I feel some of my people's pain, yo. Anyway, me just want to heal up Mr. Miguel Lawn, He don't feel good at me. I tell you, Mr. Miguel Lawn, you're one of my living warrior, Mr. Miguel Lawn. Straight up, I wish you the best, Mr. Lawn. Yeah, I want to heal up me and Motley too.
Ah, yes, no, that is, both persons are deserving of mention.
Yes, I want to heal up King Jong-un too.
Which king is this now? Kim. Oh. Okay. Oh, you're a guy from North Korea.
Yo, my warrior, not my guy, please. Not no guy, my warrior, Miss Lawrence.
All right, sir. You have freedom
right,
of belief and
my warrior,
conscience.
He's a warrior, man. Yo, why can't my peoples them take template from them peoples, man? I want to hear up Mr. Jerry Small too, miss your teaching, Mr. Jerry Small. But Percy,
yes,
immortality. Have you ever heard that word before?
Which one?
Immortality.
Immortality, yeah.
Yeah, is that word in the Bible?
Yes.
It is?
It is. In some translations, they refer to man losing his carnal body and taking on immortality. Losing the corruptible flesh and taking on yes. So it is there.
That's my goal. That's what I'm trying to do, yo.
All right, then.
Well, that is the next great adventure.
Yeah, for real, yo. For real, yo, so trust me, yo. Now, to tell no lie, I had like maybe 2-3 great years that I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
But doing my 50-something years on this earth, man, oh my God, yo, when you talk about abuse, when you talk, oh my, if you hear some of my stories, yo, looking back over my whole life, sometimes it sick my stomach. Sometimes I wonder, Franco, how the heck you survive? How?
I want to ask you one question, Franco, if you would share. What would you say was the main cause of some of those struggles?
Excuse me, I didn't hear you. You broke off a second.
What would you say was the main cause of some of your struggles when you look back and you say you can only see 2 or 3 good years?
Well, the main cause is Esau and his gang.
So you're Jacob and Esau was tormenting Esau and his gang.
Esau and his nasty gang, yo, for real, yo. I know me alone go through, just maybe I don't know who we know, but yeah, man. But anyway, I'm not complaining. Give thanks still, because I got immortality.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. For your immortality. Anyway, bless up on yourself. Bless up.
All right, Franco. Thank you. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, Miss Minett and Mr. Percy. Morning.
Yes.
Morning.
Okay, immortality.
Mm-hmm.
In interesting, you know. What I want to say, especially your pastor, don't feel no way attorney, because your day will come.
All right, let me hear
that.
That
doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have the argument and those things, you know. The information, right?
Go on,
not being a liar, that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have the information and legal matters. Probably you can practice it in certain circles or certain quarters. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Go ahead, my brother.
Because there are some Jamaican who left here in the 60s and 70s. They just go to grammar school, you know. And when you go to Jamaica, when you are in Jamaica, they say you have to apply to file certain things.
Yes.
They go before the court, you know, and before any judge, you know, high court judge, and him say them their piece and go about them business, you know.
You know, there are very few things that you can't do yourself in the courts.
I know that, yes. But in terms of Jamaica still a hold back
No,
the masses, you know.
That's Jamaica me I talk about.
Yeah, Jamaica hold back the masses.
You can file...
Before Professor Hazard didn't become ill, him used to raise hell upon the youth, but like, they don't go and allow certain people to study law, certain number. Am I right about that, Attorney?
I don't know of any restriction beyond seating capacity for the course.
Professor Hazard, when he was Professor Dean at UTech,
yes,
used to raise hell upon the UWI. And some of our local black attorney who control the normal law school, I resist. So, you know, say, in Jamaica, the brother there, when he want me to talk about who to go back where?
Oh, back to
black people, how long black people,
yes.
You know, 3/4 of the corruption in Jamaica, black people are stifle black people like the crab in the barrel, you know.
That is true, because we are in the majority. But what is it
All
you
right,
wanted to ask,
Percy?
Percy?
Commissioner of Police now, if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
His projection for the new year sound positive and upbeat, you know. Understandable coming from a head of a security force, right? But 4 weeks ago, at one of the fallen cop funeral, the chairman of the police federation was saying that the police force is demoralized, demotivated. No moral, no farmer thing to go forward, no encouragement. So in terms of implementation, or the gentleman or the commissioner positivity fit in when the people who are supposed to implement.
That's a big question, yeah.
Oh, that work, Mr. Commissioner.
But I don't know. That's a question because you can be speaking positively as a leader, but the people are gonna carry it out for you, going in an opposite direction. So you have a major crisis there.
And interestingly, you know, this is like to the Commissioner of Police. I'm not saying that he is not concerned about the welfare of the men and women who work below his rank. But I never hear him emphasize with the meager wages of those policemen and women in any farm, you know, more so, you know.
And you know
because
where...
for instance, the income disparity between the rank and file and the officer rank. A modern time young man. a modern time young commissioner. This parity, you know, and yet he come into play again, you know. Some study a few years back claimed that Jamaica and Haiti are the two highest income disparity in the Western Hemisphere, you know. You have that on record in council?
Yes, I know of it, yes. And it is true anyway. Beyond
yes,
this,
and
beyond the study.
Security force, you know. The two strongest group in any country are the politician and the security, national security force, them, you know. Right? Perkin used to say it take a corrupt police force to maintain a corrupt political system, you know. And that one they look like a truth. The two strongest group in any society, the politician and the security forces. And when you have your rank and file member who are going to implement the policy as formulated by by the executive or the legislator. And them demand demotivate and demoralize according to his chairman. And we can't see it. So even if the chairman never said it, we can't see it out there on the street, you know. And as a result, millions of dollars a year we're supposed to go into the government cover. It's not going in there, you know. I mean, the commissioner probably may have said it to Mr. Wallace in a secret, but all in some here. I say again, man, I call in a rather be careful, you know.
That's true.
Yes.
And we can change.
Close look on the geopolitics now.
Yes, because we're at the 8:30 break. So if you can hold, that would please me even more.
All right.
We have to take our station break. Yes.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, you know, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try and call him, because trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back, caller. The geopolitics
yes,
as you were
at the global reach now.
Yes, man.
In Brazil, we have been told in recent time that they are storming at some governmental office by the former president. And his supporter, not him, you know, his supporter.
Yes, after President Lula was sworn in, what do you think they're learning from the Americans?
I think so, no, Mr. What is his name, Bolsonaro?
Yes.
You know, the direct carbon copy of Mr. Trump, you know.
Mr. Trump.
That's why I say Mr. Trump should have been tried for high treason, not by his peer.
Well,
his political peer. He should have been tried by the courts.
But are you satisfied with what the Americans have done with their commission that made some recommendations concerning what should be done in relation to Trump's behavior? I mean, we're commenting on their business, but do you...
I can't retry Trump for that again, you know. Are the people who care about his instruction?
Yeah, but he hasn't been tried, so it's not retrying him. Their Congress had a hearing, the January 6th hearing, and they ended up with some very strong recommendations and findings about Mr. Trump's culpability. And I think...
Oh, so I said, let me take that. Is it about the court?
Well, I don't remember what the recommendations are specifically in terms of the course, but there is more to come.
Yes, and Pele has passed, right?
Yes, he passed away. Yes, he died.
In not the Friday gone, the Friday before the last Friday.
Yes. I
signed the deal in the Gleaner where probably it was in the 70s when the Brazil won of the World Cup.
Yes.
The lot of white man was having white people, mostly white men were having a gentleman on their shoulder, you know, marching around in the street. And it reminds me in the 70s how Jamaica used to lift up Mike Samuel and Mr. Thiago all over the place. And Lionel Messi now, he has finally find himself among the great football great, right?
He's at the pinnacle of achievement now.
Any argument prior to the last World Cup, it was premature, as I have been saying all along.
Oh, you're an Argentina Messi fan?
No, I'm not an Argentina fan. People were saying that he was the greatest footballer of all time prior to this last World Cup.
Yes.
But I am now saying that he's now among the great.
Okay, but you're not going as far as
performance in the World Cup that.
Call him in the GOAT. He's not a GOAT.
Not the greatest of all time.
One is among the greats.
Yeah.
Among.
Okay.
Yeah, right? I will give him that title. So you take care. And
all right, my brother. Thank you very much. All right. I know you are a sportsman. Is it necessary to make a declaration about Messi versus Pele? Or...
The argument's going to continue, but as somebody rightly pointed out to us, a lot of the skills set that we see many present-day footballers have. If you look back at Pele, when he first played up until when he retired, his plays that he, as it were, invented and should have had. So, to me, you compare 3 versus 1, 3 World Cup
versus one. Not no greatest of all time. Not yet.
Yeah,
and he's past the age now when he might go on to exceed.
And then the other thing is, Pele people content only played in Brazil and then the New York Cosmos. But the interesting thing is the amount of protection that they have for persons now. Pele was taken off in one World Cup in the car. They deliberately
tackled him.
Tackled him and kick him up and things. So
do you have a caller on the line?
Yes, we do.
Okay, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, caller. Welcome. Yes, how are you?
Morning. Yes. There is Streetman here.
How are you, my street man?
Morning. I'm a bit stuffy, but I think I can come across.
Yeah, man, we're hearing you.
Yes. Just to say, it's refreshing to hear both. It's all refreshing to hear you both.
Oh, well,
thank you, sir.
Yes. I'm going to visit. 3 issues here.
Yes.
The first 2, I'll be as brief as possible because I raised them sometime last year with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to repeat myself. But just to say, because something came out, some information relating to both the set that I raised last year. So I will visit them. The first one, if you remember, I had spoken to you and I expressed my concern about the space, the new sentence, the monetary gun sentence.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Firearms Act.
Yes.
It will further impact the prison space.
Right, I remember the prison capacity issue.
Yes, and rehabilitation.
And they got 80 already.
I express my concern that it further impacted. No, I see where it is going in that direction. Because as we speak now, they say it's just about 3 weeks now since the new act is in place after the amnesty.
And they have 80 people.
Yes.
Hello?
We're not hearing the caller anymore.
Break. Hello?
No, I think the call dropped.
Yeah?
We're hearing you now.
Yeah.
I'm saying, yes, as we speak now, this is about 80. Charge. Well, we don't know how much out of that 80 will be found guilty. But what they are saying, as it is now, the breakdown they are saying, it says actually there are 2 per day. As it is now, they are finding, arresting 2 per day, or 1 per day. So if it continues in that trajectory, you know.
Yes, problems ahead. And what's your second issue? Because I want to respond in a particular way.
Yes. The second issue now, I also mentioned that the Prime Minister tends to listen and not be wise in the owners. And I asked, and Ms. Minett, you had respond to me, you give me some answers, some information pertaining. The end of the day I asked who was advising the government and the Prime Minister on legal affairs. So there were 2 instances where he fell short. The opposition talked to him about it, that it is unconstitutional.
Yeah.
And they listened. And then it was the NIDS Act. It was touched by the court. The NIDS.
Yeah.
And the
state of emergency. Yeah.
They lost both. No, I see again the opposition is now taking to court.
Yes.
And the back-to-back.
SOEs, right.
No, I hear over the week, I hear a lawyer is now saying that from his analyzation, the opposition has a great chance in winning that court battle.
If the judges act in accordance with the Constitution, they must win. We know what the law says, there's no lack of clarity in that area. I can tell you that just based on my knowledge and experience. Absolutely no lack of clarity. And when, I think it must have been Mr. Bunting said in Parliament, and I don't quote Mr. Bunting frequently, but when he said, if you're so right about it, just move from one to the next. Don't let any time pass. Because the passage of time that they allow is an artificial posturing to suggest that there are new circumstances.
Yes. So just to say, if the government should lose this one, I believe it would be very embarrassing and unfortunate for them.
Yes.
Very embarrassing and unfortunate.
Yeah, but sir, 2 constitutional experts, Dr. Lloyd Barnett, who has made what is the word he has
expressed an opinion
on it already, and somebody else has said
Mike Hilton has said a similar,
not making any sense,
and Minett has said it, and Gordon Robinson has said it.
So people know the law.
Just 4 persons who know the law.
So as you read, so I had expressed you, Ms. Minett and Percival.
Yes.
Who is advising the government and its legal affairs? Who is advising him?
I don't think so. I don't think it is so much a who, because it matters not who is saying it. The question is, regardless of the source of the advice, why would the Prime Minister pursue a course that is bad in law? Why would he persist in doing so? Is either desperation, no have nothing else that you can possibly do, or just a lack of concern or regard for the law, which in and of itself is a big issue in Jamaica right now, based on the violence we see on the streets, based on the mayhem on the roads in terms of just people how they drive, and also, you would say, and also based on the failure on our part to even abide by other legal statutory obligations that we have, and we just ignore it. So rule of law is a question on the table for Jamaicans to consider. Do we really care, or we just want to do what we want to do? We've become a nation that just do whatever is convenient.
Everybody become a law unto them own.
Yeah.
my last point. I lost. You know, the one with and the no. Just it was refreshing to hear the Prime Minister in the National Day prayer breakfast there. Mentioned that he is going to get the support of the church to for the change of the God spiritual intervention to get for the
mental health issue.
Yes, African culture in Jamaica. African culture. No, why is it refreshing?
Yes.
I remember when a particular minister on the opposition side, you know, made
talked about divine intervention.
Yes, and he was bashed and ridiculed.
Yes.
You know, from those some of those in the government here and others that made that statement. It was an unbecoming statement made. You know?
Yes, like when you go to the divine, it's because you don't know what else to do.
Yes, and that yes, I just calling him. Bunting was bashed for making that statement.
Yes, I recall that. And not just by the Prime Minister. Others too said, "Oh no, you can't. You don't know what else to do, so you want God." Yeah.
So I'm just saying now that there's an old adage saying, "When you live in a glass, you don't throw stones."
Yes.
And I do believe that this particular ministry is it's one of the, from my humble opinion, it's one of the most difficult ministries to manage. The secret ministry here.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult one for me. I do believe.
Yes.
And when we're on the political platform, and we must be careful of statements we made. The statement we must try our best to make practical statement and realistic statement.
Yeah.
Because I remember the Prime Minister saying that the PNP, his government will be able. The PNP cannot fight crime, resolve crime. The GSP can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that under the GSP government, you can sleep your door and windows open. And
Yes.
So when we're on the political platform, don't make we must try to do our best. I know I'm referring to both sides.
Yes.
Not to make unrealistic and practical statement. Because a statement like that was really unpractical and unrealistic.
Yeah.
You can't keep your doors open, and the PNP government cannot be able to fight crime. The GDP can. Those statements will come to haunt us and back in your face.
Yes, and then we are the losers for it, when the statements backfire. But mind you, we can make a difference between the hyperbolic statements in the political hustings and what's really kind of true and reasonable. We have to be able to make that distinction between what gets said for hype and what makes sense. I don't think, it's kind of like they take poetic license when they're out there campaigning and say all kinds of things. We, the citizens who are going to vote, must be able to make a distinction between what makes sense and what doesn't.
Yes, I concur with that.
Yeah.
But may I say, please bear in mind that
yes.
In the public authorities, we know your defense strata, some of the, also there, they take these statements, from a different perspective. Those are, not bashing anyone who is not, say, their IQ, whatever. But some of us, when those persons...
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, there are some who can't make the distinction.
Yeah. Yes, right.
Yes,
so.
yes,
so they,
yes.
So they must bear that in mind.
Yes, yeah, right. And usually, those are the persons they're addressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those will run with it in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, my brother.
And I'm closing off now.
Yes.
Finally, I know your program also involves spirituality. I just want to leave the scripture with myself and those of listening.
Yes.
Romans 12, verse 12. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in tribulation. And be instant in prayer.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Romans 12, verse 12.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
That's a good one. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. God bless you all.
You too.
Yes.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. I was on a long hold anyway.
Oh, my brother.
Let me through.
I bless you for continuing to hold.
Good morning, Cruz. How are you?
Morning, all of you people there. Miss Minett.
Yes, sir.
This is for you. Is the king of the judges still on probation?
No. Does he sound like a man on probation?
No, but I don't remember how long.
No, man. That was a short-lived.
That even lasted that month.
Yeah, that was a short-lived error on the part of the Prime Minister. People came out guns blazing and he confirmed him in his position. He's sitting comfortable. The Chief Justice is comfortable in his chair.
I watched the news. I saw the news last night, even though I didn't understand everything like it. But I'm saying, this man is opposing the Prime Minister. Better be careful.
Well, let us see what comes of it. He was talking to his judges, giving them the charge, as he should. And he gave a good charge. You must apply, the whole value in the separation of powers is that each arm truly acts independent of the other. So one of my listeners on another line said, what's wrong if they're calling them violence producers? Nothing is wrong to behave in that way over there, sir. In your space in the world where you occupy that seat, the executive arm, it's all right for you to make those judgments and so on and so forth. But the judiciary, in their section of power, must bear in mind that they ought not to be influenced by what is being said in the other room. Separation of powers. You must carry out your duties based on your remit and the documents and the instruments that cover you, and the other one over there, so you have the freedom to say, because we have freedom of speech, so you can get up and call man violence producer over there, so. But judges have to be careful to hold themselves separate and not be swayed by the opinions being expressed. Just like even one or two judges might listen to our program, for example, nothing we say here should be directing their activities. They can listen and say, but that is foolishness or that is good. When they sit to make a judgment, they must make it based on the law that exists at the time. And that's all he was doing.
Yeah. There another thing.
Yes.
Did you saw what went on in Brazil?
Yes. Well, I saw the reports and I was aware that it was brewing because remember they had a recount and a re-voting, or do you remember that their expression of democracy was painful and took some time? Like how you see in the U.S., the Republican man is 15 times they voted for their Speaker of the House.
Yes.
Yeah, democracy is going through some painful stages here. What do you think of the protest in Brazil following the swearing in of their new democratically elected president?
I believe the Americans are behind it.
Americans generally, or America as the State Department, or like the caller before you, Trump has set a bad example and other people are following it?
Well, I didn't hear that caller. This minute, yes. I remember a couple of years ago when I think it was this man that won in power. United States came up with something that Brazil was corrupt and some of the leaders was in some corruption.
Yes.
And they changed the government. You know, they changed the government. At that time, Brazil was the fastest growing economy in the West. That's what the paper said.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Brazil government start to thief and this and that in the American side.
So there is a great deal of truth to the principle you're adverting to, namely that for one reason or another, usually it's competition for power on the world stage. One country may destabilize another in order to maintain an advantage. No doubt about that. But
Miss Minett,
yes,
just like how they deliberately keep third world country poor so they can stay rich.
Right.
You know that?
Yeah. So I want to.
When you say deliberately, you're talking about the G7 countries or just one country in particular?
No, but I want to ask him something there.
The entire.
It don't really matter how you see how who is it that keep you subjected. But the question I want to ask you, because every Jamaican has to confront that, how do you fight against any system that wants to keep you under and keep you at a disadvantage? How do you, as an individual, as a nation, mount your defense against that? There's a way to do it. I'm just asking you what you think.
Well, we don't have the power to assassinate people, so we have to mobilize our people.
Actually, we have the power to assassinate people.
No, not so easy. We would have to join the Freemasons and those big great
but
evil help around this world.
Yeah, but that's still a way.
But you're out there in a cruise. But go ahead. So I hear you saying that we have to mobilize ourselves in terms of self-help and self-reliance. That's what you're saying.
Yes, self-reliance, and don't depend on them for their everything that we have to get. Their clothes, their food. We don't have to travel to their country. I have never gone to the American embassy. If you see me there, run outside. If you see me at the American embassy,
no, I know. You're a Canadian man.
Yes.
Canada is
not really, but I went there. Not that I love Canada, but I went there.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, we're in agreement that there is a way for a nation, a people, an individual to strategize and fight their way out from a place of subjection and oppression.
We can make it here. I remember when my father used to raise pig. We didn't buy any bag food for them. And they were fat like cutpuss.
There's that cutpuss again.
You don't know what cutpuss means?
We know what it means, friend. Yes.
Let's hope it's not the upper class one you're giving me now. No.
All right. Let me tell you what I know it to be then. When you neuter an animal or you spay the animal, it is believed that the lack of sexual activity and energy cause them to get fat.
Yes, they get fat.
Yes.
They don't get to play.
They don't. They're not tomcats. They're not tomcatting around, so they get fat.
Yeah.
So me know say cut puss is neutered puss.
We used to feed them with breadfruit, corn, pumpkin, leftover thing. Me have to put on kerosene pan, go look and put on the kerosene pan
and boil
every evening.
Boil the peelings, because you never give them raw.
Even though it was not a lot of pig, but we can grow enough to feed
ourselves. Yeah, you can feed yourself and your neighbor. That's why when we talk about community activism, we're talking about focusing on feeding yourself and your neighbor.
Yeah,
and then if you do it at a large enough scale, you can feed the next parent. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Did he receive him like it?
Well, I don't know yet because I left him, the principal said I should leave him at Park Mountain School.
Yeah. All right, so you'll get the report today.
I went to that school.
Okay.
Until about 69, I left for a private Adventist school that I always tell you guys about.
Yeah.
I went to an Adventist school. Private school in Santa Cruz.
Okay, well then it means that the school you've brought him to has longevity. If you went there and he can now go there. And I hope that the facilities have been modernized as well, because a lot of times you look at the school that you went to and it looked the same today, and that's not a good thing.
It modernized a little bit, but the space are still small.
Yeah.
And I asked the principal if they don't get help from government. They said they asked the government, and government said they don't have any money.
Mm-hmm.
So you have people who are coming in to do what they need to do.
So communities have to build.
Yeah.
There's some else, but I want to call back. I slip me.
All right.
Yeah, communities have to build or change government. One way or another, it cannot remain static. Good morning.
We're at the break.
Oh, we're at the break. Okay. We're going to just go on hold?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're simply the best.
Bess FM 100.5 on your dial. Keep listening.
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is your radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, Inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in.
Seniors, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security is advising that the November 2022 payment under the Social Pension Program is now available for collection. Check your text messages to confirm your payment arrangements. For further information, call 876-922-8007. The Social Pension Program, caring for our elderly. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, providing opportunity, stability, and social protection.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling because trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes! Trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back. And to the caller online, thank you for holding. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank
morning,
you.
Pastor.
Good morning, Enlighten. How are you?
Thanks for holding.
I'm good, man. I don't want to talk about this morning. What the name? St. Elizabeth there, what do you call it, Santa Cruz?
Yes.
Cruise, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something I really want to talk about. Things that remain stagnant in this country.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in I think it was about 1998. So far, almost a decade I've gone back.
24 years.
I was standing at a bus stop on Hagley Park Road. And the JOTC, that time the JOTC bus was just implemented. The JOTC system just came into being. Was signing up with a group of youngsters there. And when the bus came along, they was just pushing
fighting to get into the bus. And I was almost in front. Almost in front of them, and they almost pushed me down to get in the bus. Because, and I when I went in the bus was empty. And when I sat down, I started to reflect, and I said, the reason why these youngsters were behaving that type of way, they have gotten used to the ramshack. It was just a couple of months before the day came in, so they didn't used to having bus that they could go in orderly and all them type of thing, They used to the ramshack thing where they have to fight to get into the bus. And I see that is happening. That is happening now. That is what is
it's happening again.
That is what is happening to our citizens now. Again, after so many decades, we still going back to that system again where people have been fighting and pushing down. Where you go downtown and see people fighting to get into a bus. I'm saying to myself that after so many years, we have improved not all in this country.
Enlightened. I think it varies in different locations because I've been to the bus park to take buses from Halfway Tree up to where I live, having the bus, and the people line up to go into the bus. But I see what you're talking about too, because if you go into, I see the downtown chaos that happens because there are so few of those major buses, the big, we call them chichi bus, the JUTC buses. And when you see the people pushing, because they have the bays that you drive in and you can line up, but people still pushing.
Let me ask you this, Enlightened. In your day that you're talking about decades ago, what was the cause of that behavior? And I'm asking you, what was it?
Shortages of buses.
The shortage of buses and the indiscipline in the system. The system wasn't regulated properly. They didn't have a proper transportation system.
Yeah,
remember, because I grew up.
So when you said nothing, when you said nothing has improved. I mean, what is the? Do you see the same causes now? Because we still don't have proper regulation, and we still don't. People still don't have certainty that if this bus goes, there's another one coming. I can wait.
Yes, that's the problem.
Yeah, and when the new system was introduced with Dr. Alton Fletcher, who was a gentleman who came back to set it up, you saw the changes because you had more buses in the system, but now there are less buses in the system. It has gone deregulated to you have people who work on the different franchises, and it speaks to, I think, a greater issue in terms of how the persons who are leaders reflect on the system, because it can be better, man. It can be better.
The system is not being managed properly. It's not being managed because one is a shortage of buses because of spare parts and so on.
So there really is a shortage of buses?
Yeah, man, you don't have enough buses.
Yeah, man. If you pass over, it depends on the amount of buses that park over there. For even some simple thing that they're not, but like a part, like a whole thing, like a management, like a whole thing, what's causing that, but if we can get in this country, as the government can get to run a simple thing like a bus service and run it properly, efficiently, put in the right people to manage it and all them type of thing. You don't see the deficiency in the type of leaders that people are elected.
Well, you have me thinking many things. When I listen to you, I recognize that the bus system don't operate in a vacuum. I come from a place where it was one bus daily that went to like Kingston. Everybody know what time the bus going to come. Everybody plan accordingly. People planning based on limited resources is not a new thing. So I know that the shortage of buses is not it's part of the circumstances, but it's not a cause. Then I think, why would people push and shove to be in an overcrowded bus in an unsafe kind of situation to get home? And I think about the violence on the road and the risk to, when I say on the road now, I don't mean people driving. I mean in the public space. You could be robbed, you could be raped, you could be murdered. Whether a stray bullet or is a deliberate thing, you don't want to be out after certain hours. So when the bus come and you don't know if one more coming, everybody want to be on that one bus. So I said, okay, that is a situation that causes people to take that kind of risk. And then it just becomes apparent that the one problem that we have in the overall society affects everything. Everything. Because you might be tempted to say people indisciplined, and or you might be tempted to say this transport system is not well managed. But this lack of proper management is showing up everywhere.
Yes, that is it. That's a part of it, But you could be at the bus stop there for 3 hours or 2 hours and can't get a bus,
Yes, but that is because schedules are not maintained. And why would you be? It should be that if you have 100 buses, everybody know that they're gonna run at this time, and you have something. I don't think busmen necessarily want to lose money. They want a whole heap of people to move, especially because we now have a competitive system. So, however we get to it, you should be confident that I can go to the bus stop at 8 o'clock and within 15 minutes I have a bus. So you don't have to be there from 5 o'clock hoping.
Yeah, but in terms of the turnaround, because remember, we have the traffic on the road. They have a lot of things, And when a bus leave from, say, for argument's sake, from Portmore and to reach town, and the amount of traffic, and when it reach town, and people are gathering at the bus stop, and somebody is there for 2 hours.
Yeah. So you're touching on so many things now, because the time that a journey takes is dependent on the flow of traffic. So is there a bus lane?
Bus lanes and
all
of those things are broken down.
It wakes up so many things.
Yeah.
And what's not working right, why you have that situation that...
So you see, our people that are planners and our government, they're not, to me, all right, because, I look at, when I go downtown and stand up here and I look at the buses, come and see the people, them fighting to get in. I said to myself, if I was in charge, and developing that thing, I would have made some sort of turnstile here, So that when the bus comes, the bus goes
to a loading bay, and people get to it in an orderly way.
So everybody have to line up, and you get
Percy said they have loading bays.
But
it gets overwhelmed by
the sheer number of people and
the loading bay is there, but everybody can just push them. Everybody can code up at the door. To prevent that from happening, I would have constructed
something that don't.
There.
Yeah. I saw the kind of barrier you're talking about. I see it in 2 places now that I was surprised to see it. I see it in airports, immigration, when people are arriving. We arrive in Ethiopia and is hard iron, metal, fixed. You can't bungle up and you can't. And I've seen it in the U.S. They didn't use metal, they used metal, but they were not fixed to the floor. And I realized that, yes, airports are usually a more friendly, relaxed type of environment, but now people are making sure that you move in a single file, and those are simple ways that you can manage crowd.
So why can't we do something like that instead of having people just put...
I don't know why, my brother. Maybe it's because the management of the transport, whoever managed the transport center, is them manage the buses? Because sometimes you have different players.
But in the construction of the thing, when they were constructing it, and to me, the people that are in charge of these things, sometimes they don't go downtown and go somewhere and stand up and look at the we can't have people behaving that type of way. We have to find a way to start
set better systems. But I take your point well. And I agree with you that better and more coordinated management is required. And maybe if we fix transportation, we would see a number of other things falling into place because one affects the other.
When the bus come to load, if everybody line up, you could save him 10 minutes after loading
Of course.
time,
Yes. And another one could just come right in place and so on and so forth.
But everybody fighting to go to one door and nobody can go to another type of thing.
Yeah. And that slowed down the whole process and maybe cause injury. There was a time when I did some work for JUTC and I was amazed at the number of claims you would see where a child got squashed in the loading process and the bus rolled over somebody's foot and all kind of...
Sometimes the bus door, everybody hang on to the bus door and get the bus door damaged and all. The bus door can't shut and all them type of thing there.
Yeah.
So I bleed from a country, I bleed from a country. The people that are running this country, man, I don't know what they're doing. What they don't go anywhere. And so people operate and so people make their country.
Well, I think you know that quite a few of us are overwhelmed by some economic considerations that distract us from doing the best job possible, and we can't close our mind to it. People need to be better paid. Right now, I see on the front page, the DPP's office, the legal officers have their own issue.
Police restive.
The police are demoralized and restive. They're doing work in the public sector, not being well rewarded, and the expectations are high. So a lot of sympathy and self-help becomes necessary just to get us over the hump. Anyway, my brother, we do have another call, and I take your point, and I hope someone who has authority is listening and might take a walk downtown and see what's really going on.
Yes.
And Mr. Shopper, and consider how the situation can be alleviated for the comfort of the citizens.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning and welcome.
Greetings, Miss Minett.
How are you, my dear?
Yes, greetings, Pastor.
Good
all
morning.
The best for the new year.
We receive it. We wish you the same.
This is my lady from St. Elizabeth.
No, from right here in Kingston.
Okay, good
I
morning.
think Pastor have his ladies mixed up, but he has many, so forgive him.
I'm not going to charge him.
All right.
You see, now we love you even more for that.
Thank you. I have several things, but you know what I'm going to hit on today?
Yes.
The transportation.
Wow.
Because of the last caller.
Yes.
And it touched home. I'm going to tell you what happened to me last week. I was at the Halfway Tree Transport Center.
Yes.
And I topped up my card. And then I was asking what bus to the Spanish Town. And they showed me the section. And I walked in and saw a long line. Anyway, I joined the line, and I happened to be talking to a lady in front of me, and she was telling me. I said, how long you think? She said, sometimes 2-3 hours. And then, yes, listen to this. And then she said, but the coaster, they'll get rescue. And by the time the coaster will come out and say, Spanish Town, so you can jump on it. About half hour later, we hear Spanish Town. So we ran to the Spanish Town bus. Guess where they were parked? Right at the traffic light, and like you'd say, at the transport center.
Yeah.
Right there, like we're going, we can either go up or turn right on Season.3.
Yes.
Right there, and that's where they loaded.
What time of day was it?
It was, I remember quite well. It was 1 o'clock.
So in the middle of the day, you could be waiting at the bus station for 2-3 hours?
Yes. Listen to this. Guess what? So the coast, I think it's 30 feet. So all seat was full, and he was in no hurry to move. Then came off police on the bike, and they talked for 5 minutes, and then he proceeded turning up the music vulgar, and then he went to Malines Road, and he picked up like a about 50 more people. Remember the purposes and it's full. Yes, that's full story. Listen. And then he went on to the lines, then he turned on to Boulevard, then he went down, then he stopped at the gas station. I think it's Fresco. I don't want to call him the promoting him. But anyway, he stopped for after waiting so long, look at this, another half hour.
Wow.
So the lady said, she's going to miss her appointment, me too. So she says, but you don't hear that you get in gas? So, did you know he came back with a bag of snacks?
So he went to get refreshments.
That's the word. I said snacks, I'm sorry, refreshments.
For himself.
This minute, he left out of, didn't get gas, need to make that point. He left out of the gas station and soft shoulder all the way to Spanish Town Bridge. Believe me. When I say soft,
yes,
shoulder,
just right on the edge of the road.
Yes.
And there was traffic. He passed everybody.
Now, I want to ask you this. Were passengers protesting or they were grateful to be making up for lost time?
Oh, nobody said a word. Nobody. Why are you, listen, why I'm going to tell you why I think they didn't say a word. While from I left Hartford Tree Transport Center to Spanish Town, I did not see a yellow bus.
Oh, okay. No better, as Lowell like to say, no better than their John shop.
John and Jack and Tom
and George and
one of the shops.
Yeah.
So you're so happy. You're not going to tell him to turn off the vulgar music because he might evict you.
Yes.
And you're not going to complain that he's on the soft shoulder because he made up for the 30
He made up for the lost time. And that's, earlier Pastor and I were talking about we were talking about Abraham telling various people that his wife was his sister, and the fact that he still was under coverage because she was not abused in the process, and Abraham was not punished. In fact, he was enriched because when he was leaving Egypt, then give him all the things, and when he was departing from Abimelech's country, then give him all the things too. So he benefited from this lie. We were looking at how preservation of life, the instinct to survive, and the need to get ahead in whatever it is you're doing, how it drive a lot of people to take risks and to be exposed to dangerous situations. And so it is in Jamaica today.
Yeah, because for me personally, it has having to take the bus. I'd say, boss, stop me and come off our bus. But most people not go to that simply because
maybe you can walk to wherever it is you're going. But if you're like, say, this lady now who she had an appointment to keep, somebody else had another appointment, the buses are few and far between. You have to run to get the seat on the one that you have. You're not going to, you're going to say, you know what, somebody else going to need to take care of his problem.
Yeah.
But I need to get to where I'm going. And I don't think even the PM and others who are puzzled over certain things going on and why certain policies now work and certain initiatives don't spark. I don't think they're recognizing that it's a fight for survival for most of us when we have to put up with this or take a chance with that and so on. The heart might be breaking through the experience, but if we don't, for us to move to the next step, this is what we put up with. Desperation, man.
This minute,
yes.
And Pastor, it's worse than that. Listen,
Lord.
It's worse than that because guess what?
Yes.
I told you there was no bus coming.
Yeah.
That we left at the transport center there, still there.
Yes, finishing their 2-3 hour wait.
If that lady never told me, I would be there too.
You'd be there waiting in line. So you see, and it
no problem because I didn't know. And look, I tell her thanks a million times.
Yeah, because now you're trying to do it the right and proper way, and you end up at the back.
Yes, but look what happened to the look where he was loaded. People do it fucking traffic light.
Yes, they do it all the time. And they go there, they do it all the time.
Wait a minute, I see it and you see. You don't think law enforcement see it?
Of course, them see it. And some of the times they will intervene, but most times they're not. They are doing anything.
They're not, and then when them intervene and tell you to take off the 20 people off the road, 20 people are fret or them all get home. Because that's another thing I see. Police stop bus, empty it out in any which corner of the world that they want to. And that's it. Their duty finish.
Yeah.
And then what about the people? Yes.
Miss Minett, I'm past. I'm going to say this before I leave because I don't want to, if somebody is waiting. Listen to this.
Yes.
This is why people will pay 5,000 United States dollars to jump the border.
Yes.
Talk about that
that's true. Time. No, but that is true. It is desperation. And they would risk when we see that lady who got separated from her child and so on. Then we risk all kind of something just to give themselves a chance to survive better than what is happening here. I thank you for the call, ma'am.
Thank you. And it doesn't get better. It's Monday morning.
Yes.
Back to school, and it's probably 50 times worse.
Lord of mercy. So there are some things that have to be considered.
Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, it's our pleasure. All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have another caller, Mr. Engineer? Yeah. Good morning and welcome.
Hello, Miss Minett.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I tried to call you many times, but I don't get you.
And we're happy to hear you right now. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to everyone here listening to us right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm talking about the bus.
Yes.
I mean, it's Friday night or Saturday night. I don't at the bus center.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't get no bus to come home. And when we look, we see some bus come and one bus, I have to go 2 routes. 1 out 3 and 12.
Wow. So it had to double up.
And I hear them say, attack, I found bus out down there say, the government, I tell lie, no bus no come. So I say, one people bus them are supposed to come and I hear one of the man them down there say, no bus no come. Like I say, one bus in down a wharf and one bus in come off of the
I mean, the electric one. The electric one will cost how much million?
One bus.
Yes, the electric one, yeah.
And that is not enough to address the shortage that people speak of.
No, and you want to see, when me see it on the road, it's at some bus, like the post that them are run now, and I 160 them are charge, and the taxi them are charge 300. So, and them allow them, the government allow them things to happen.
Yes.
When I say, why them allow them things to have to raise the fare when they come with bus. But no bus now come.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's terrible for we, because when we go work, we work out doing our son,
Yes.
And when we done work, in the evening, then we have to come and stand up long at the center, how long?
Yeah.
1.5, 2 hours.
And you see, we talk about family life and parents failing in managing children and teaching them properly. But when you're going to teach them, when you're going to get the time to teach them, when you should be home, you're there on road and wait for bus 2-3 hours.
That is why I did say, from long time I see them thing and talk,
Yes.
And nobody come like them say, I'm a madman.
No, sir, you talk truth.
But how them can't see them thing?
Oh, we lost the call?
Yeah, but it is a very important part. We don't see the connection, how these things intersect and how this impact. If a child leaves from school at 3 o'clock, wait 2 hours, and the parents have to wait to when them have time.
They barely know each other.
Yeah.
Good morning, and thank you for calling.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Good,
Yes, glad to talk to you. New Year, Happy New Year to you. I haven't spoken to you since New Year.
Happy New Year to you also.
But
God bless you, man.
Yeah, man, but just before you go, we're up on the break, so can you hold, please?
Yes, I will.
All right,
please
thank you.
Yeah, man.
So
Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. God is good. This is a radio pastor and friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Bess100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales, shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? Yeah, waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try calling cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
There will be days when you're too tired to move, to drive, but you think you have to because your vehicle won't wash itself, right? But no, you don't have to visit a car wash. 123 Mobile Car Wash will come straight to you. Yes, you heard right. 123 Mobile Car Wash is offering services in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. We shampoo and detail cars, trucks, offices, and more. No job too small. Call us at 876-631-3400. 123 Mobile Car Wash. We come to you.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Lady Lee, the Queen of the South, and I'm inviting you all to trailblaze with me on the best of the best radio station, the Bess100 FM, Mondays through Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. You can't afford to miss it on your airwaves. Yes, trailblaze with Lady Lee right here, Mondays to Thursdays, 2 to 5 p.m. on the best of the best, Bess100 FM. Mwah.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minett and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Bess100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. Thank you for holding.
Yes, first thing I want to say is that you need to extend the program to Friday too. You know why you couldn't have a church, but you need to let them know that you.
I love you very much. That's why I said
yeah, I take it as an expression of love. Both of us positive.
Because the whole of the other stations have it until I don't know what they cut the short, man. It's to give you the whole 5 days.
Oh my Lord.
Quickly, Flo.
Yes.
My daughter has moved from where she was at, and she transformed the thing into my name.
Mm-hmm.
And we are doing that for 2 months now. And every week I pay the money. I do just about everything, and every time you call, when you're not TRN, I want different number, I want this, I want that, and it's frozen. And when you spoke to the first person, they don't give you the time. Every time you call another person, they tell you something differently. And I felt like if these sellers here and they want to give me the service free, I can take it right now because I paid the money. The only reason why I'm staying with Flow because I've really paid the money because it's 2 months now and I can't get the thing at my house.
Oh, wow.
Because they keep on having me calling. I pay the money, but yet still I give you the confirmation number, everything that you think about. I was very detailed. And my daughter gets so upset about the whole matter because she have that 2 months now.
So
and I can't have it, and I don't know what so is doing.
So the reason you're not getting the service is because each time there seems to be some uncertainty about whether the account is really your account? It's because of the transfer and how the call service, what do you call them? The customer service people are dealing with it? You think it's being disconnected?
Absolutely, because remember, when they asked us first, they asked us to give them everything that we so designed, and we gave it to them. And they said, okay, then you need to pay the money that accumulated because of each day you pay like a service charge because you're not using it.
Right.
That was paid up. I might pay even more than what they asked.
Right.
And the lady will tell me now when I pay it, I have to wait for 10 working days. So it's 14 days.
Yes.
I have to wait after when I pay. And I still have not done so. So my daughter called them 2 days ago and they said that Friday I think it was. And they said they would call back my daughter. You know, she has not called back my daughter. I spoke to her yesterday and still never called her back. And so right now it is that it's like a zero. It has because they did not call her back. Because they called me. I spoke to them and they said to me that they need her TRN. And then she called them. And then told her that she would have called her back. I can't see.
Yeah.
Why is it that business so difficult in Jamaica?
But I tell you something, and it's not unique to Flow. You guys, you're going to have a whole nother set of headache with the other one. A part of it is just how we communicate and how we resolve simple problems. But I mean, you could always go higher up the food chain in terms of instead of calling the customer care, you can even. There are persons who are higher up in the system who could hunt it down and deal with the problem for you. It takes a lot of perseverance to work through some of those communication issues. But bear in mind that your phone service is one of those phone and electricity and water, those utilities that are almost necessary for life. And with the phone, there are confidentiality issues tied up with who's the account holder and so on. So you have to bear with them when they take you through the authentication of.
No, but I don't have a problem with I don't have a problem with what you just said.
Yes.
All I'm saying, if I go to one person, you need to give me all that I need, and when I move to the person,
yes.
No, that's no problem.
That definitely is a challenge that you get with customer care persons in every service.
Percy knows something, but Minett and Percy.
And it's like a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's not moving.
Where you are with it now is just inefficiency in the follow-up.
Right.
Because they want your business, you know. It's not like they don't want your business.
I don't believe that Jamaicans in general need businesses because when you go into the business all over across, it can burn a few. Like maybe some of the banks and support.
Yes.
And insurance company people always, reach out to you. But especially first in the government department, I heard they were saying that they have to go do some appraisal for some of the people. It's like the tax office and the government places. Buying a few, office. It is a headache.
Yeah, very, very rough. I mean, oh, Lord. But consider this for me. And why is it so difficult for us to give that excellent service? You know, where we spend a lot of money training people to give excellent service in tourism, and Jamaica has a world-class tourism product. But a lot is expended on training and helping people to adopt and assume the right attitude of service so we can serve in a gracious, engaging way without being servile. Because one of the reasons we have to spend so much on training is because as a people we're prone to be self-willed and independent.
Absolutely.
And we don't want nobody to take our service for granted, no matter how much they're paying us. But in every other area,
I hope that by speaking though that Flow will reach out because I need the service.
Well, I was gonna ask you to leave your number
and see if we can follow up for you.
I reconnected with a lovely lady that I worked with there when I used to be there, and although she told me that the other man who I exhausted on Michael's behalf is better placed locally to solve problems, she did say,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, if I have a problem and you know.
I will let you know.
All right.
So
then.
leave the number.
And finally, quick before I run,
Yes.
taxi man. I believe that I'm feel like a bit sorry for the taxi man generally.
Yes.
But then again, I have a taxi friend who I'm close in it with, and recently he have accumulated a few tickets or some other things.
Yeah.
And he still doesn't want to go and pay.
Does he have the
So
funds to pay?
why don't go pay the thing? He will pay it and he's not paying it, and it's about 2 months now since he accumulated that he's not paying it. So
He have
what
the
I
money
say?
to pay. Why isn't he paying it? He has the money, or you know
He
what
has
his
the money.
circumstances are?
Well,
He has it.
Tell him to go pay.
Okay. Well,
just don't want to pay. So I'm saying why I feel like go bad for some of them generally.
Yes.
I believe that most of them are calling these things upon themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's no doubt because other people get their ticket and pay it on time, and it's not an issue. But do you know that now, even if him have the money to pay it, he's likely to encounter some logistic problems because, as anticipated, I know the system and I know the interdependence of things. When you go to the traffic court now, for them to be able to address so many, I hear the commissioner saying each ticket is an individual ticket. I know that, and each ticket is now an individual case.
Yes.
So you have to have case file and the clerk of court. Yes. So now they are complaining. I heard it, the man saying it, that when you go now, they tell you come back and they're giving you dates that are outside the amnesty period. They're telling you come back in the middle of February. So, and that is a self-created problem because when the operators approach the government and say, do something for us, those who have the intelligence should know that if all these people try to get processed at one time or in the same time span, is a problem on the court system.
Absolutely, going to be. Unless you're just going to just walk in and pay and step
unless you can just do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you said I should leave my number with you.
Leave your number with the engineer for me, please.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see what
God
we
bless
can
you.
do about it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Do we have another caller or we're wrapping up?
We have another caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. Greetings, Queen. And greetings, King. And greetings to all your listeners.
Good morning, my brother.
How are you doing?
We are well. How are you?
All right. Well, I'm here. I just have a problem with the public. And it starts from when we're young. You ever hear them say, wisdom is too high for fools to understand it? You ever hear that saying before?
Yes.
Good. Why you listen and listen good now? For some reason, when you're different from people, they hate you. And the things I know, the Almighty Creator is who taught me them. So I know them.
Yes.
Because there's no... When I first go to medical school and learn in medicine, the first thing they taught me in medicine that if I cure a patient, I lose a customer.
Yes.
So you know what I do? In less than a month, I leave that medical school because I start wasting time and wasting money and effort.
Where was that? Was that in Jamaica or foreign?
No, miss, New Orleans.
New Orleans. I like New Orleans.
I look at it like this way. When the Creator said to me, say, use this, use that. To do this, that is what I do. The other day I was teaching about white sugar and baking soda to cure heart cancer.
Then you have that in your craft to come back with Monday morning.
Yes, listen now. Because people, I want the people them to understand.
Yes.
What is it? Cancer is worm. Worm, parasite. So in order to kill them, you have to sweeten the medicine, sweet to kill them for 5 to 7 days. Nobody now say you go feed pan sugar for a month or 2 months. That is the logic. The reason why you need the sweetness, the worm feed and sweetness. So in order to kill the worm, the parasite, you have to take something sweet in your system to kill the worm. Very simple logic. So if you don't understand it, or people don't understand it, don't criticize what you don't understand.
Okay.
Because
But you know,
that with humanity in Jamaica, You know what? 2 minutes just up in a necktie and big suit. I mean, I drive Benz and BMW.
But remember,
Everybody overlook me.
Remember, this is radio, you know, so they don't say you not have a necktie.
You have an ambition string. Simple Jamaican, a little simple Jamaican, which is the
listen to
king
me
of
now.
creation, the I am that I am, Yeshua, the Son of Man. That's who me is. Very simple. But everybody who overlook me.
No, man.
Today is 3 days after full moon. I want you to listen to this public.
Yes.
3 days after full moon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want bamboo to cut, now is the time to start cut them in a dark night period. You don't want plantain, sweet potato, pumpkin, anything with a plant now is good. If you don't plant it before now, worm are going to eat it. Very simple knowledge. So everybody will have cancer, HIV, diabetes. A man that try to get his woman pregnant and cannot get her pregnant. Today is the day you have sex. Today is the day. Because what happened on the 3rd day after full moon, everything comes together as one in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. The world work off of the moon.
I love how you say it, very simple. Nothing simple about it. All mysterious, but if you're right, you're right, and who have the faith to accept it, move ahead.
It is simple.
Listen
but
to
I
me
want
now.
my people to stop sitting here and dying unnecessarily from a sickness named cancer, which is just worm. Simple. You have civic contract, vervine, pumpkin seed, papa seed, worm grass, neem kill every worm. But as I said, the medicine have to sweeten and take it for 5 straight days, and then you wait 3 days to take a colon cleanser, which is a laxative, to remove the dead worm and the eggs out of the system. Once you do that and take iron and vitamin C, you're good. There's nothing hard in curing disease.
I want you to...
Probability and people who do not understand wisdom always criticize what God put here. They reject God. They choose the doctor.
My friend, hold on, no, man.
Yeah, my doctor.
It's a dialogue we have, you know. It's a dialogue, man. So.
And I want you to remember that when you call to speak to Miss Minett and Pastor Percy, and we receive you well and with respect. So don't be troubled over questions that persons might ask. And as you say, if a man is asking out of lack of knowledge, you should be gentle and sympathetic. Don't get disturbed about it. Yes.
I can say something to you.
Oh, sure.
I don't know if you read, but you see, the man will call God.
Yes.
Him not like nothing stupid.
Can I tell you? You know why
Hold
I was...
on, no, man. Let me finish, no, man.
Yeah.
You see, man, when you call me and God?
Yes.
He give man 3 cents. Wisdom, love, and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom, love, and knowledge. Every Jamaican, you see, a 5 cents them have. And when we ask them what is their 5 cents, their body parts. Tasting, smelling, seeing. That's their body parts. Your sense is to know right from wrong, which is wisdom. Your sense is knowledge, which is power, not money. And your sense is love. Love is the key to life.
Well, I'm telling you now, to engage love, this is the last call for the morning, and I want it to end on the highest possible note. So engage the love sense and be patient with those who ask questions and answer with gentility and respect.
No,
so
that question they asked me. They debating saying sugar.
They were not debating with me.
They debating. I was there listening, and this person saying that they know sugar cannot cancer feed and sweetness. No, let me explain something. As I said, cancer is worm. Any scientist, any doctor in the universe, if they have common sense, there's no disease in Jamaica. No disease.
All right.
And it's very easy to cure.
All right.
All right.
Very, very simple. Papa, leave alone. Bill your red and white blood cells.
I gotta say goodbye to you now because I gotta wrap up.
Overnight.
I have to wrap up and go. Thank you for
calling us back.
Yes.
So we continue tomorrow, God's willing. All right? Blessings.
You too, you too, you too.
Life is love.
All right, great. All right, on that sweet note.
Yes, this note of the condensed milk.
No, it wasn't condensed milk. It was granulated sugar.
Yes.
The person said something about granulated sugar. But anyway, thank you. On air, online, in studio. We've had a good morning. It's our first Monday here since the year has started.
But we give God thanks for sustaining us again as we close out. Happy birthday to you, my beloved mom, Miss Blossom, Miss Blossom.
And that happy birthday is from the Seven Picnic, the descendants of the one who went early, because I will not allow Percy to be tortured by his siblings who said, "True, me on a radio program to say happy birthday 100 times."
7 of us are the 34 grand.
I challenge you to call the 7 names.
Of my siblings?
Just call it. No
Anthony,
hesitation.
Michael, Cheryl, Junior, Carlin, Colette, Colleen.
There was a hesitation for who? Which one?
None of them.
Yes, man, you hesitated.
Junior for me.
Oh,
you know?
you hesitated at your own name. All right.
Everybody know
that shows the humility of the man. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.
Bye.
Set my soul in
So you beat them, so you mistreat them, so you lock them down, and you think that you've won, but them a whole a meditation out in a iration. Them a follow Rastafari, and I live upright. So tell me where you are gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now. Tell me what you gonna do now that the youth are all them roots. truth from the youth.